you're at it, report me to the American Bar Association. At the second time, it'll make just as much sense, and then call up Coca-Cola and have them remove my membership. And then while you're at it, why don't you contact DS4 Live and get them to remove my account at the same time? Contact YouTube, contact Squatters, contact Parlay, contact BitChute. I want you to contact everything that I am on and tell them that you are reporting me to the police because, in my opinion, you are a pedophile when you are sharing porn with children. You fucking pedophile!
All right, Redsky, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Oh, amazing. We had some great news today.
Amazing news.
Uh-huh. Kenosha's got to burn to the ground.
Aw.
Yeah. Fuck Kenosha. Terrible city, terrible people. Yeah, they're gonna burn that motherfucker down. But I don't think I've received better news. Oh, also Kyle Rittenhouse was not guilty on all charges. That was in the news.
Thank
too.
God.
Yeah.
Thank fucking God.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little secondary to Kenosha burning down, but
definitely not related.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. I think it's hilarious, right? Because I have some reactions pulled up. A lot of people probably aren't as aware of this because we're talking about way back in the election cycle when Joe Biden was running for president. He made Kyle Rittenhouse one of his campaign ads, right? So he had to issue a statement. Well, he had to issue a statement, and the first statement was like, I wasn't really paying attention to the trial, but we have to respect the opinion of the jury. And I'm like, okay,
that's fair. That's fair.
That is.
I can't dock him points for that.
Then he updated the statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the update, he said, we are all outraged and upset and yada, yada, yada. Yeah.
Well, fuck him. he was doing okay, but he always disappoints.
I mean, so normally we cover a few different topics, but I think we're going to stick to just talking about Rittenhouse today.
Really? Okay.
Because the feds are going to go after him now.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. Okay, so do you remember Chauvin, the guy who killed George Floyd?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so he got convicted, but the federal government, right? The feds, the FBI or whoever, they had an investigation open on him so that if he were to get acquitted, they were immediately going to arrest him after the trial. Yep, because they were not going to let him go free, right? So in terms of Rittenhouse, it doesn't seem like they were as ready to make that statement. It didn't seem like they were as ready, probably because Chauvin got convicted, right? Yeah. But now that Kyle Rittenhouse is free, you have Biden give the first statement, then you have him give the second statement, and this is after, Nadler, that fat fuck in Congress, wants the DOJ to investigate Rittenhouse, right? And I'm like, dude, there's no federal crime you can really go after him for, except for maybe they're going to try to argue that he's a white supremacist and he was suppressing the... I don't know, man. I honestly have no clue.
Okay, so the thing that bothers me is, I've seen people saying, he's a white supremacist and it's white privilege that won today or something like that. But the thing is, he's not, there's no proof that he's a white supremacist. The only thing I've seen is maybe some white supremacist groups promoting him, but he has never himself expressed any allegiance.
Well, I mean, look, you can't use the white supremacist group promoted him either, because white supremacist groups have promoted Democrats whenever they say anything they like, right? True, at the end of the day, they went through everything on this kid, and the only thing they could find was an association with the Proud Boys after he had been arrested, right? Which makes sense because they were supporting him while the media was basically calling him a white supremacist shooter.
Yeah, so you gotta kind of align yourself with whatever you got. In times like that, not like I'm defending it or anything, but it's understandable.
Oh, wait, you guys don't believe me on the hold on. You think I'm lying? Hold on, let me show you this. Here we go. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler big old fat fuck, has requested a DOJ.
Talking about him or the nose?
That's not Nadler. I'll find a photo of Nadler for you. Don't worry, I'll find one. Has requested a DOJ review of the Rittenhouse case so that Kyle Rittenhouse could potentially face federal charges. So, look, the prosecution of Kyle Rittenhouse came off as largely political to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you have a situation where they're basically saying, well, it's not guilty across the board, right? Not a mistrial, not a mistrial with prejudice, but 12 people came together and came up with a not guilty verdict, right? So now these fuckers are basically saying, okay, well, now we're going to go after him with federal charges for the exact same crime.
Jesus fucking Christ. Give the kid a break. Holy
yeah,
shit.
I know, right? Like, this is... okay.
God, these people suck.
And now, mind you, right? What you have people on the left basically trying to argue that Rittenhouse was favored by the judge. The judge was totally biased in support of him, and they point to certain things, but I guess the biggest one is the judge. I'm not even going to go into this idea that the victims and the rioters and everything, like that's just the proper terminology. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just is, right? Like it's a self-defense case. You literally cannot call the people shot victims unless you
when they were literally burning other places to the ground.
No, that's not why. That's not why, Redsky. Because if you're calling them victims, right? Well, the other dude's being put on trial. That means you are saying that he did in fact murder them, right? That he has no claim of self-defense because these were his victims, right? But if he has a claim of self-defense, they aren't victims. They're literally called aggressors, right? Like it's a big difference, right? And when you're in a court of law, you literally cannot, you literally can't do it. And then like you've had people argue that, how dare they call them rioters, looters, and arsonists. And like, I'm sorry, but like they were committing arson, or at least one of them was confirmed to be committing arson.
The pedophile was.
Yeah. I believe 2 were confirmed to be looting, which would be the pedophile and Huber. And then Grosskreutz, I mean, everybody watched his testimony.
We know
right?
about him.
Yeah, like everybody watched that guy's testimony.
We know him.
You figure out what he was fucking doing there, right? But look, the judge said you can call them that if you think it will help your case, right? Because even if they are rioters, looters, and arsonists, it doesn't mean Kyle can shoot them. I mean, the judge, like that's not the claim of self-defense that they are making. That these people are bad, so therefore Kyle can shoot them. That was never their fucking case, right? So, like, completely misunderstanding what the judge is saying, and they got completely outraged and pissed off about it.
Of course, they did.
Every time. The other thing was they argued that the judge was biased because he yelled at the prosecutor. And I'm like,
well,
I'm like, the ADA violated the Fifth Amendment rights of the defendant. Okay, there is no defending it. I understand that there are people that hate Kyle so fucking much that they don't care that the prosecution was playing dirty the entire time, right? Like I totally fucking get that. But at the end of the day, that's what was going on. Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted in spite of the prosecution violating his constitutional rights on two separate occasions, as well as withholding evidence. Actually, it seems like not even withholding evidence, but straight up turning over manipulated evidence to the defense. Right?
Yeah.
And he still gets a not guilty verdict, right? And these little fuckers are like, well, the trial was unfair. I was like, yeah, it was. It was completely unfair. Everything the prosecution did in that fucking case was gross and disgusting, right? When they opened up the case against Kyle Rittenhouse, they said that they were going to prove that Kyle Rittenhouse chased down Rosenbaum and killed him in cold blood. Halfway through the trial, their own witnesses have killed that theory. So in closing, they argue a completely different theory of what happened. I'm like,
oh, really? And
I'm sitting there going, like, if you have to do that, if you're prosecuting somebody for a crime, and in the middle of the trial, you change what you are actually charging, not the crimes themselves, but change your entire theory of the crime, maybe you shouldn't be prosecuting the kid at this point, because you clearly didn't know what was fucking going on. Oh man. But, you know, I have to say the prosecution, sure, they lost the case, but they must be very grateful that that the jury came back with not guilties across the board, because the judge was going to put the prosecution under oath to explain how this evidence was turned over to the defense, right? I mean, like, these are like flat out, like, this reads as so fucking corrupt and disgusting and dirty. Now, mind you, we're seeing it on our screens here, right? Like, we're watching the trial. The jury doesn't know this is going on. So when this motherfucker questions the Fifth Amendment rights of Kyle Rittenhouse, the jury hears it. Then the jury gets excused. The judge yells at the ADA, right, for doing it. The fucking left is pissed off that he yelled at the ADA, saying that influenced the trial, even though the jury wasn't even in the fucking room, right? But the ADA violating his Fifth Amendment rights in front of the fucking jury, that's okay. These people are insane. Like, they are fucking nasty ass motherfuckers. Skewed
logic.
Yeah, but look at the comments. Like, the people supporting this shit, they're getting race shit like crazy, right? ASAP, Department of Justice must file civil rights charges against Kyle Rittenhouse. I thought that transporting assault weapons across state lines was a federal crime. Silly me, huh? Like,
what the fuck?
Right?
Yeah, no. 224 Vic, the left doesn't care about the Constitution anymore. 100%.
I mean, look at this comment though, right? Because this one did get ratioed as heavily. Fed charges Rittenhouse could face include civil rights violations and hate crimes.
What the fuck? Wait, so killing a pedophile is a hate crime now?
I don't know how you're going to get him with hate crimes. Like, he's a white kid who shot white adults. Like, how are you going to get him with a hate crime? I have no fucking clue.
Yeah,
but this is how insane these people are.
These people are retarded.
I mean, look at this, right? Idea that one can show up at a protest with a loaded assault weapon, kill two people, and claim self-defense flies in the face of logic and common sense. I mean,
ironic coming from that person.
I mean, you can tell, like, the people that actually paid attention to the trial and the people who didn't give a fucking shit and are just going to repeat the same nonsense over and over and over again, right? Like I try to figure this out, right? Because it seems absurd to me, right? Even though it's not true, right? The gun charge was completely improper, right? There is a statute in Wisconsin. Okay, he was within the law to actually possess the gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a crime at all. So he has a legal right to carry the gun. He has a legal right to be there. He has actual ties to the community, right? But Kyle Rittenhouse, they feel, should not have been allowed to carry a gun. Everybody else there, fully armed, totally fine. I'm supposed to hold the 17-year-old kid to a higher standard than everybody else there. Rosenbaum didn't have a gun because it was a felony for him to touch one, because he's a violent pedophile with a career fucking history, right? Like, the guy is...
He has 5 kids under his belt, so...
The guy was released... Okay, so fucking Rosenbaum was released from a mental health hospital, right?
The day of.
Okay? This motherfucker didn't have a weapon. Well, it turns out he had a chain or something. But the reason why this guy didn't have a gun was because he was
also lighting fires.
Well, yeah. Look, he's a criminal. Absolutely. Him lighting fires, though, is totally okay. Kyle can't shoot him for lighting fires. And Kyle didn't, because Kyle came across Rosenbaum when Rosenbaum was pushing the fucking flaming dumpster into a gas station. And Kyle didn't take his gun out and pop him in the fucking forehead then. No. Rosenbaum, after Kyle puts out the fire, says, if I get you alone, I will fucking kill you. Then he gets the kid alone, ambushes him, chases him down, and these motherfuckers go, well, you know, because he showed up there with the gun, he should have just taken the beating. I'm like, motherfucker. I mean, honestly, I understand that the kid doesn't have the hindsight of knowing that Rosenbaum is a violent pedophile who was just released from a mental health hospital, right? And all he sees is a violent guy that just threatened to kill him, chasing him down. But all these fuckers know that Rosenbaum is a violent pedophile. So for them to sit there and literally argue that Rittenhouse should have just let the guy put his hands on him, right? You know what was going to fucking happen if that occurred. They absolutely know what was going to happen to Kyle Rittenhouse had Rosenbaum put his hands on him. They don't fucking care, though. They literally don't fucking care. Kyle Rittenhouse showed up to a protest that they support. They don't care that the protest turned into a riot. They don't care that that riot was burning down property in the black-owned neighborhoods, right? They don't care that they were burning down underinsured black-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses. They don't fucking care about any of that, right? All they see is it was a protest for police, so that means everything that the people were doing there was totally okay, right? These assholes like that fucking idiot Hassan, right?
Oh my God.
Chank's retarded fucking nephew, right? This dude is like a fucking millionaire, right? Excessively fucking wealthy. And he's also a fucking communist, right? And he's also out there fucking talking shit about fucking Kyle Rittenhouse, all this other shit, right? And I'm looking at it. And I'm going, you guys are telling me that kid should get his ass beaten down. Like, literally, he's going to get killed by the fucking pedophile, right? Because you're upset that he showed up and wanted to defend his community. Like what was going on in that neighborhood, right? You're targeting the minority-owned businesses. They're underinsured. You have wealthy, fucking, filthy, fucking, rich, fat-ass fucking communists like Hassan, right? Whose whole ideology is premised around this idea that one day he will take part in a violent revolution specifically to take property from people, right? Mm-hmm. That is a core part of his ideology. Is also saying that these people trying to defend their property, right? They're all a bunch of fucking white supremacists, nasty little fucking Nazi, stupid motherfuckers, right? Well, he sits in his super fucking like $1 million home, right? Yep. This motherfucker whose ideology is premised around the idea that one day he will take part in a violent revolution specifically to take property from people, is also saying that the idea that anyone would dare show up to defend their property from the violent little fucking anarchist, terrorist, little fucking Nazi, little fucking communist motherfuckers that run around the streets, they're burning it down, right? He's saying that those people are in the wrong. The people that want to defend their property are in the wrong because the property has no value. While at the same time, this filthy fucking rich millionaire whose whole ideology is premised around this idea that he will take part in a violent revolution to steal your fucking property, right? Or sorry, to steal the property of the wealthy, right? This motherfucker is saying that property has no actual value. Let them burn it down. I said it's hilarious.
It's fucked up.
It is hilarious. It's hilarious. Anytime I see a socialist or a communist sit there and say that riots are okay and burning down property is okay, all I can say is, what is your belief system? Like, what is your belief system?
Our property.
I mean, like,
that's what they think.
I mean, look, I'm a fucking capitalist, right? Look, at the end of the day, you know, what happens to your property, it's on you. Right? And that's the same thing for those people in that community, right? If they don't insure their property and they wind up suffering a severe loss from it, it was a decision that they made, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it was a decision they made. That's the capitalist fucking perspective. But the fucking socialist and fucking communist perspective is burn their fucking property down knowing that the insurance isn't going to cover it. You people are fucking monsters. Like, you people are fucking monsters. And they sit there and they pretend they care about these people. They fucking don't.
Oh, no, they don't.
Oh, they fucking don't. Like the riots were taking place in the minority-owned parts of Kenosha, right? In the minority-owned businesses. That's apparently what they were destroying.
Minorities, I guess.
Oh, God, right?
Fucking retards.
Yeah. He wasn't supposed to be there. Now there were the people he shot. People, well, you know what's crazy? To my understanding, that Gage Grosskreutz guy actually went further to get to Kenosha than Kyle did. And he has zero ties to that community. Yeah. And he has zero ties to that community too. Right? Whereas Kyle, like, again, father, grandmother, extended family all fucking live there. And he used to live there. And he works there. And his sister's boyfriend, who's also his best friend, lives there.
So long story short, it's his community.
It's his community, right? It's absolutely his community. And these motherfuckers like lied repeatedly about this kid and acted like he like came in from out of nowhere to set the fucking law or some stupid shit like that. He's a kid who wanted to defend his community and is his community, right? And the reason why these assholes don't seem to understand or comprehend that, the reason why they say he showed up there to hunt people, is because they have no loves for their own community. So they can't fathom the idea that anyone would bother to protect their community. You see it all the time. Yeah. So now you have a kid who's just been acquitted after a 2-week trial, 3 days of deliberation from the jury, not guilty on all counts, and now our Congress is saying, I want to put the screws to this 17-year-old. Well, I guess he's 18 now, but come on. These people are insane.
Dude, he just got off. Like, Christ almighty, let this kid have a fucking break.
Here's your other problem, right? Well, there is a ton of misinformation. Like, what you have to understand is there were a bunch of people that absolutely wanted to see Kyle Rittenhouse burn, who watched the trial and changed their minds because they did not have any of the information. But they tuned in, they watched the trial, and what they saw really fucking disgusted them.
Yeah, they saw the truth.
So now we're like, so you're at the point where you're like, well, we've already lost. So let's go ahead and do it again.
I don't even fucking know how to fathom that shit.
I mean, the only thing I can say is if your goal is to throw some red meat to your base, sure, it makes sense for that, right? It's certainly not about justice. It's certainly not about doing what's right. If it's about just throwing some red meat to your base to keep them happy, it's fucking sick and disgusting that they want the head of a little, I was going to say a little kid. They want the head. Like,
hold up, girl.
Yeah. It's upsetting that they want the head of a 17-year-old, right? That they want to see his life fucking destroyed, right? Yeah. But if that's the political move, okay, fine. But like even their fucking base isn't with them on that, right? Even people watching the trial were like, it seems like self-defense. I don't like it, but it seems like self-defense. I don't like that the right was right about this one, but it seems like self-defense. Only absolute fucking idiots are actually out there arguing that Kyle Rittenhouse is a mad fucking shooter and shit, right? Like actual people who are actually fucking retarded. Those are the ones who are making that statement.
And unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of IRLs doing that right now, and it makes me kind of...
Well, I mean, look at this dipshit in the fucking chat here. He's not 17. He's an 18-year-old adult. Moron.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Well, I mean, no. First off, I'm 30. I would call him a kid, right? But also, 17 is when he actually did these things.
Yeah.
So yes, they do want the head of a 17-year-old because literally 2 days after the incident occurred, they announced that they were pressing charges against him before they completed their investigation. So yes, they did want the head of a 17-year-old, you absolute fucking retard. God damn it. That was great. Oh,
we had to have one retard in.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? Dumbasses like that were literally just reading fucking headlines the entire time talking shit, right? About anybody speaking in Rittenhouse's defense. And now today they've been slapped around repeatedly and they're just like spurting out to themselves. Like, I swear to God, you should actually put them on a suicide watch because I think that this might be the end for some of these people. But also, like, I remember arguing with jackasses like that over the gun charge, right? Because I looked up this, I looked up the law in Wisconsin at the time, right? Because there is an exemption specifically for hunting, right? But that exemption allows the minor to actually possess the firearm, right? And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, the law here seems pretty fucking clear, right? I get that there's some debate on it, but you could easily fucking read it that way, right? So I was like, I'm pretty sure he is allowed to actually possess the firearm. And I remember when I sent that over to someone, their response was just, so you admit he was out there hunting black people.
What the fuck?
I was like, oh my fucking God. Right? So I realized at a certain point that there were just abject fucking retards out there who were just going to run their fucking mouth without any fucking context for anything and just repeat it over and over and over again as if saying it repeatedly would somehow then make it true. Right? Like even the guy here, like look, man, he's spurging in my fucking chat. Right?
Jesus fucking Christ!
I was like, again.
Do you want to invite this kid on?
But actually, yeah, buddy. Do you want an invite? Are you on Twitter? Do you have a Discord? Because I will send you an invite. I absolutely will. This would be great. Because again, I get he's 18 now, but the problem is when he was 17 is when all this stuff happened, and when he was 17, they were calling for his fucking head back then too. Like it didn't. Okay, this idea that the moment he turned 18, that's when they fucking put the fire on. No, they've been calling him a white supremacist since he was 17 years old. They haven't stopped. God damn, like it's not even like they've gotten better. They were at 100 from day one.
All right, is this fucker gonna respond?
I don't know, but like I've always wanted to do call-ins, so it'll actually be fun if he says yes.
I think he'll be golden.
Because you know when they have great grammar is when they're gonna make the best arguments.
Oh, I know. It's gonna be exciting if he actually calls in.
House. Zombie Fox, stay out of it unless you want to get put in your house as well.
Yikes, that sounds like... Oh, he got timed out.
Who timed him out?
We need to see if he's gonna come in or not.
Okay, mods, you stop timing people out that I am talking to. Jesus, I'll tell you to time them out. God damn. All right, well we'll wait for him to come back. All right. So as you can see here, right? They are reviewing. It's not that they are 100% going to move forward with charges against Rittenhouse. In the Chauvin trial, they were already ready to do that, right? The feds were on standby in case he got acquitted, right? Because he went to prison, they didn't move, right? Because it's totally moot, right? Why would you press federal charges on the guy when he's already been convicted on everything, right? In this case, they didn't go that step. It's only after he's been acquitted, now they're turning it over to DOJ. I don't think that there is anything that's going to happen here because I do not think you have the political willpower to go through this again. I think that it works so much better for the left as like this rallying cry that the courts are against them and shit because they always love to be the fucking victim, right? Than actually trying to do another trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, right? I just, I mean, there's some stupid shit that you will find. There is some absolutely stupid shit that you will find. I cannot imagine them being that fucking vapid and dumb. Like, because that takes a special level of stupidity to actually think that makes sense. You know what I mean, Redsky?
Yep.
All right, so let's actually, because we haven't actually played it yet. So let's talk about.
Probably get to it.
Okay, so this is clipped from Rekida's stream on his channel.
Rekida.
Well, I mean, dude,
has he been racking in those views still?
I think today he got to like 130K, right? Like Jack I was watching at the time, right? Like, well, I was playing video games and listening to the stream in the background, but I remember Jack Posobiec was on there. He's like, New York Post just announced that the verdict came in, and in an hour it's going to be read. And they were a little bit in disbelief. And I think less than 30 minutes later, they were reading the verdict. It was pretty cool.
Good.
Yeah.
The defendant will rise and face the jury and hearken to its verdicts.
State of Wisconsin versus Kyle Rittenhouse. That's the first count of the information.
I'm going to apologize. Like, this is the best the audio will go. So I hope y'all can hear it, but at least the CC is turned on.
Joseph Rosenbaum. We, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty.
Wow.
Yeah, so, like...
He literally collapses.
Well, I mean...
Like, that's how... Wow. Like, that's how emotionally impactful that is.
Well, okay, so one thing that, like, I hope you noticed, right? You remember when he was testifying and he started to break down? It looked like he was having a panic attack, right?
Yeah.
And they immediately...
Understandably.
Which, I mean, well, you know, they try to make this kid out to be a monster, but, you know, at the end of the day, anyone who has to experience the death of 3 people firsthand, it's going to affect them, right? Unless they are, you know, fucking irredeemably fucking soulless, and I don't think the kid is, right? So, I mean, he's got the same look on his face when he broke down during his testimony. And I remember they called it fake tears, crocodile tears. There are no tears. He's a liar. He's faking it. The only people who are really crying are the families of the victims. Like, I remember all that shit, right? So I'm like, that's the exact same face, right? He's clearly not hamming it up for the fucking judge, right? Like, he's clear. He's free to go. He just broke down. Okay, it happened again. So this is what I mean. Like, they talk so much shit about this kid, and it doesn't match up with anything that you see. And it never did. And it never would. And here we are. Like, here we are. He's been acquitted, right? And you still have an ADA who looks like he intentionally sent over corrupted evidence to the defense, right? Who twice violated a defendant's constitutional rights, and nothing is going to happen to him, right? Nothing's going to happen to that guy, right? Instead, you have the feds who want to go after the kid now, right? You have the left who is continuing to fucking lie about him, and you have mainstream media outlets just outright misinforming the public on what happened here today.
I hope that he sues the mainstream media for slander.
Well, he can't sue them for anything that was said. I'll put it like
prior
this.
To the trial.
No, not like that. He can sue for anything, really. Let's be honest. What I mean to say is defamation standards against a minor are much less severe than they are against someone who's 18 years of age or older. So a lot of these outlets made statements about this kid when he was 17 years old, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. It is so easy for him to go after them for defamation. Look at what happened in the Covington lawsuit, right? I think Covington kids sued CNN and some other places. They settled out of court. A lot of people were like, oh, look at that. They didn't have a case. Look, CNN was right. They're really... CNN paid $250 million, right? Yeah. Like CNN gave $250 million to get that shit to go away.
They bent the knee.
Okay. Kyle Rittenhouse, the shit that was said about him is substantially fucking worse, okay? Mm-hmm. The evidence was out there between days 1 and 2, and yet for months, many of these outlets continue to misinform the public and outright lie about Kyle Rittenhouse referred to him as a white supremacist, as well as many other things. Proving defamation is going to be very fucking easy here. Like, excessively fucking easy. Not to mention, he can also go after the city for his prosecution, right? Because here's the thing, right? If the statements that the judge made that the ADA was violating his constitutional rights, you think Kyle can't prove malicious prosecution? Like, I'm just saying, he at least has a case for it, right? And he can
Clearly,
he can at least show improper conduct on part of the state against him. So it would be interesting. It would be interesting. Well, Devin, why don't you tell me what questions you have, right? Because, like, at the end of the day, what I found interesting was that there was a rumor that happened. I think this was day one of deliberations, where I think it was from Jack DeSovia, stating that two of the jurors were afraid about what would happen to them, depending on what they stated, or something of that nature, and they were two holdouts, right? Then you have the second day of deliberations. You had some interesting questions from the jury, and then you have the third day, right? But most people believed that you were looking at one or two holdouts, and that's why it was taking so long to come to a verdict. And I will say one thing that I found pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys noticed this. Ricada talked about it. I can see if I can find it. There was a juror who almost got put onto the final 12 panelists. He didn't get drawn. Let me show you this real quick. We can play the video again if you want to see a little bit more. Judge basically thanks the jury and everything. But here you go. So Cody Kosick just doxed himself as a Rittenhouse juror with bias against Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, this person has been, it was not serving on the jury, right? He was dismissed. He was there for the entire trial, but was not selected to be part of the final 12 to give their verdict, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see here, big fucking day for this guy. Jury duty, high profile. Please bring me coffee. He's 12 feet away from me right now. How far can you spit? Kyle Rittenhouse starts today. Bruh, I just sat across the table from Rittenhouse. I'm 4 feet away looking him in the face, wanted to barf. Barf on him and say it was self-defense. Were you chosen? And then, this is probably really hard to see. But if you want to look up the tweet yourself, you can. What basically happens is when you do this like blackout shit, it leaves enough particles there for people to make out images and names, right? So they made out the name Cody Case or Kosick or however you say it, and the person he was talking to, some guy called I think it was Tommy Peters, right? But that's how they figured out who his name was. So this guy almost got into the fucking jury pool, and you can see he was.
Good thing he didn't, because he's doing everything a juror shouldn't do.
Well, I mean, like he right off the bat, he's already biased against Rittenhouse. Like, right, but was he going to say that? No, he was willing to lie to get put into the jury pool so that he could make sure Rittenhouse went to prison.
Well, not only that, but he was like sharing the information with other people.
Well,
so like it would show that. It was
more like he was saying that I'm there and I can spit on him if I wanted to.
Yeah, I know, but it's also like it shows that if he was on the jury, he'd probably be like a weak link who'd be leaking information to the press for clout or something like that.
So Devin, he's 17 with an AR-15. Why? Well, Devin, look, I mean, you have to understand what the actual gun laws in Wisconsin are. So if Kyle wants to purchase a handgun, a pistol, which the prosecution actually argued that, or at least the way that they were arguing made it seem like that was okay, but the AR-15 was like this escalation, this extreme escalation.
It really isn't.
We have to understand, though, if Kyle Rittenhouse was walking around with a handgun, right, that would have been illegal because the gun laws in Wisconsin, because handguns can be concealed, they don't want minors to possess them. However, the Wisconsin law allows you to purchase shotguns and AR-15s when you are under the age of 18 years old. That's why he bought it, right? He even said during the trial, originally he wanted to buy a shotgun to go skeet shooting or something like that. I forget exactly what he said, or maybe it was trap shooting.
It was probably trap shooting.
It was probably trap shooting. But he originally went to go get the shotgun. They didn't have shotguns in stock, so he got the AR-15. That's not uncommon. Because if he's there to buy the gun, and they're like, well, we don't have this, we have the AR-15. I mean, if I'm a 17-year-old, right, and I go to buy a shotgun, they don't have that available. They're like, hey, we have an AR-15 here, and it costs the same. I'd be like, well, I'm getting the AR-15. Like, why wouldn't I? But he didn't. Okay, so this. I'll be clear with you, Devin. I don't think he could buy it, but he can possess it, right? Like, he can actually like hold the firearm, walk around with it, but I don't think he can buy it, right? So I think that's why the friend had bought it, and the friend was keeping it at his house because they basically went shooting in Wisconsin. So that's essentially what happened there. But now here's the thing. I believe the friend's case is probably going to get dismissed too, because the judge overseeing Rittenhouse's trial is overseeing the friend's trial, and he dismissed the gun charges on Rittenhouse. So the idea that you can go after the friend for giving the minor a firearm, it also looks like that's not going to be a thing either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but looks like our favorite Spurg is out of the timed out.
Okay, hey, above all, like, nobody time them out. Hey, listen. Do you want to come on here and defend yourself or defend your positions in any way, shape, or form?
You seem really opinionated on this, so if you have a good argument.
I'm curious if you've got something. I'd like to hear it. Anyway, we'll wait. State violated Kyle's constitutional rights, lied to the jury about the law, prejudiced the jury, lied to the court about evidence. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's my favorite part, right? Like, state violated Kyle's constitutional rights. They did. You cannot bring up somebody's Fifth Amendment right. You cannot try to prejudice the jury by pointing out that they exercise the right to remain silent. That's like there is no like gray area on that. You gotta be civil, more civil than you've been, dude. Like,
yeah, what the fuck?
Substantially more civil
You're the
than
one
you've
who's
been.
spurging out in chat right now to the viewers.
Yeah, if I call you an asshole, it's because you're behaving like an asshole,
opinion.
dude. Yeah, but here, I'm gonna put the link in the. Here you go. Let me put the link in the chat so you don't have to like hit me up on Twitter or Discord or anything. There you go. We'll see. There you are, buddy. You can call in. Just click that link. It will put you into StreamYard.
Oh no. not in the general chat.
I don't fucking, because I can decide who actually enters.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. So like again, this guy here, clearly he's got a bias against Rittenhouse, and the fact that he was not like, look, at the end of the day, you have to trust people to be honest when they go onto the jury pool. If you've got a bias, just be honest about it, right? This was a tough trial because a lot of people had opinions on it. But this guy clearly had this opinion that Kyle was guilty. And he was almost put into the jury pool. Like, that's
I'm glad they eliminated that real fast. Holy shit.
Yeah. I think Rekieta Law did a little bit more research on that one. Because I think that somebody confirmed that individual was dismissed from the jury because a lot of people were freaking out about it for a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about some fun stuff. As you can probably see here, these are people who are very upset that Kyle Rittenhouse is free and has been found not guilty. It's if you're seeing this on your screen, it's probably a little bit too small because there's just so many scrunched together in here.
Can you zoom in on them at all?
Maybe. No. No, it's okay. I'll read a few of these though. Every person of color knows that if Kyle Rittenhouse weren't white, he would never even had a trial. He would have been killed at the scene. Keith Olbermann just said, "Fuck this murderer." There's another person in here. Joseph Rosenbaum, 36, and Anthony Huber, 26. Victims killed by Kyle Rittenhouse. The killer walks free thanks to a miscarriage of justice in Wisconsin. Huber leaves behind a stepdaughter and Rosenbaum a daughter. White supremacy, guns, and institutional racism are a toxic combination. If Kyle Rittenhouse was a black man and killed 3 white men, he wouldn't be acquitted. This is America.
What?
I seriously think that person thinks that Rittenhouse killed 3 black men. I really do. What do you think?
Dude, I don't fucking know.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we got our special guest joining.
Oh, we do.
Yes. Hold on. Hello. Is this above all or all above?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yep.
Okay, I've never used this, so I have no idea if my mic would work or not.
It's okay. Just if
All-
anything comes
All
up,
I said was he was 18. That's it. And
You know,
you
he-
came at me super hard and aggressive just because of that comment.
Well, hold on. Let me go back here.
That's the first thing I said.
Yeah. So this was your comment. He's not 17. He's an 18-year-old adult moron.
Yes.
So you're mad that I went at you hard?
Sounds like you were the one who was the aggressor.
But buddy,
He's
look,
18.
I'll be honest with you, right?
He's
if
18.
Okay, when did he?
Yeah, but we were saying
how old
that
was
the
he
media
when he
was like
shot
the
these
media was
people?
being slanderous when he was 17.
I never denied that he was 17 when he did what he did. But
Okay,
today,
so
he's
above all,
18 years old.
okay, I'm going to help you out, buddy. So I was saying that
Are
they
you?
went after the head for a 17-year-old, right? Okay.
They're going after the head of an 18-year-old.
Okay. Listen, I said that these people wanted the head of a 17-year-old. That's what I said. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So when he was 17, that's when the shootings occurred, right? And within like a day of the shootings, there were already articles up on that kid calling him a white supremacist and wanting him like in prison immediately. So yes, they wanted the head of a 17-year-old.
They've
Okay.
been doing that all throughout the trial as well.
Yes. And they did it when he was 17 as well. So when I said these people wanted the head of a 17-year-old, they did. He's 18 years. He's 18 now, sure. So they've wanted the head of the 17-year-old when he was 17, and now when he is 18.
And they're wanting his head for something he did when he was 17.
Yeah. So again, if you're upset that I went hard at you for that, buddy, don't call me a fucking moron when I'm not saying anything that's not like incorrect.
And then don't bitch in chat when he responds a little aggressively.
Yeah, like, is there anything else though? Because I don't want to be an asshole.
Oh
to you.
wait, so I don't have the right to defend my stance. I just have to sit here and take a guy who comes hard. Is that it?
Well, you already gave me your stance.
You
I mean,
came
there's
in and
nothing else.
complained
here.
about him going after you for the comment you left.
What stance did I give? It's not like I said I was against Kyle Rittenhouse.
Buddy,
or
I didn't say
for
that
him.
you were or weren't.
Oh
Then
my
what
God.
stance did I give?
The stance where you're calling me a moron for saying something that was true.
Because right after that comment of you saying they're going after a 17-year-old, you were talking.
I said that they wanted the head of a 17-year-old because they
that the
did.
people are making news media about him still being a white supremacist.
And they were doing that when he was 17. Yeah.
You can't.
I can't what?
You're trying to switch back to what you are relating.
No.
it to when you were
What the fuck is
I
going
said the
on?
exact same thing from like the fucking start, dude. Do you have
Oh my
anything
God.
else?
You really are.
Okay, goodbye. Jesus fucking Christ. I
Holy
think
shit.
Like, what the fuck was that? Oh my gosh.
And yes,
you
son, I
came
will-
at me really hard. I'm like,
No,
let me pull up your comment because
he,
I was pretty sure you had said
here,
something.
The problem is, he was going to come in here to defend his stance, and the minute he comes in here, he bitches about how you were going aggro at him for leaving aggro comments towards you in your chat.
Okay, wait, hold on. Is this BP?
Hey,
What's up?
am I coming through all right?
Yep.
You're coming through great. How you been, buddy?
Dude, I've been hanging in there recently, but generally pretty good, man. Glad to be on. It's been a minute.
Dude, it has. Have you been watching the entire thing with the Rittenhouse trial? Because we have not talked about it at all.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the coverage. Moreover, I've just been listening to it. Saw the video enough times to know it was clearly a self-defense case. Like through and through.
Wait, so you didn't need to hear that the violent fucking pedophile that raped 5 little boys and chased down this kid also threatened to murder him and several other people in order for you to confirm it was indeed self-defense? You didn't need that. You just saw the video and that was enough for you?
That was enough for the jury who had also been prejudiced and lied to by the state, who didn't even have to try this case in the first place. Like, they chose to bring this. And also for the guy who was just on here, like, dude, like, you can't punch somebody in the teeth and then complain that they're like judging you for attacking them or something. Like, you throw a punch, like, someone can punch back. That's how it is. You don't get to cry about it,
especially if it's their chat.
It's almost like I was defending myself against an aggressor.
You're not allowed
literally.
You're not allowed to be here. It's the same kind of thought process. It's just like the people who think that Kyle didn't have a right to be there because his whatever wasn't enough of something. Like, oh, so a bunch of people like are angry and burning down stuff, everything around me. I'm not allowed to be there because they're angry, and I'm gonna air quote provoke them by just being there.
So let me just answer this super chat really quick. Devin, these were just questions which I feel you answered. My apologies if I offended. Devin, no. You're perfectly fine. Like, here's the thing. There's been so much misinformation about the case, right? That if you are genuinely confused about something, it's totally okay to ask the question, right? But
and Dev, I've had those similar questions back when this first happened. So you were just asking questions. There's nothing wrong with that. You weren't attacking people in chat.
Yeah, that's why when you ask questions, I have no problem responding to anything you were asking, right?
Yeah, see, this fucker says you kicked me as I was winning, pussy. No, you fucking weren't. You were struggling.
Hey, well, hold on. He got me, bro. You were totally winning. Okay, I kicked you because you were so fucking retarded. You were actually causing me brain damage by being in proximity with you. Know what you're thinking, right? Well, Crumb, this is online, you stupid idiot. I mean, even through the fucking internet, the absolute level of fucking cranial destruction that you are capable of causing another individual was actually getting to me through the internet. It is incredible. I will take the L.
That much damage.
I'm gonna take the L because, man, holy shit! If I spent another fucking second with you on stream, you would have actually caused my brains to leak out my fucking eyeballs. So good job. Take the W. I'm gonna move on though, buddy.
Do you know what I find kind of the most disturbing about this whole thing is I think that aside from Jump Kick Man, who the prosecution knew the name of and hid and misrepresented that they didn't know the name of and identity of to the jury, allegedly at least.
Well, apparently,
aside
Jump
from
Kick
him,
Man
Kyle
wanted
was the most POC person in the whole thing in terms of people being shot at, shooting, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so sorry, I got the flame going. Give me a second, guys. One thing that was pretty interesting about Jump Kick Man, I guess he offered the prosecution to testify if they gave him immunity, and the prosecution turned him down, but then took his video, and I'm sitting there going, that is interesting, right? Like the things the prosecution did in that case were really disturbing. They claim that Rittenhouse held a gun to, give me 1 second. Let me just take this hit.
Well, I don't know in his case that they took his video. I think that there was a charge against Kyle on his behalf, and they acted like they didn't know who he was while charging Kyle under the impression and the communication that they didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, when you look at the way the prosecution handled that, look at Zeminski, right? Zeminski, they claimed Kyle held a gun to Zeminski, right? And that's why Rosenbaum went chasing after him. Now, Zeminski has been prosecuted for his reckless discharging of a firearm, right? And he discharged that firearm because of his confrontation with Kyle Rittenhouse. And in his trial, his testimony, his version of events are that he fired the gun and it had nothing to do with Rittenhouse pointing a gun at him. He never says one time Rittenhouse pointed a gun at him. The prosecution has invented that argument, right? They don't have testimony from Zeminski, right? They don't have anything from Zeminski. They're just stating that Rittenhouse held a gun up to Zeminski, right? Even though Zeminski never fucking claimed that. That was their argument to the jury as they were leaving over provocation, that Kyle Rittenhouse provoked Rosenbaum by holding a gun to another individual. The only problem is that individual never made that claim. It is literally something that the prosecution invented based on this really bad blurry videotape, right? Which is even worse because then they gave a cropped, downgraded version of that video to the defense. And it's one thing if you listen to the prosecution's argument that, oh, it got downsized because, you know, when we transferred the file over. But I mean, like, it has a different file name. It has a different origin date. I mean,
the metadata was different.
Differently. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
there was a lot wrong with that whole thing. And yes, they were testifying. They were testifying and they were lying. And also that weapons charge shouldn't have been in there and was just placed in there to prejudice the jury. Let's be honest.
well, no, I think it was in there because the prosecution, I literally don't think understood the gun laws. Like, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but both the ADAs that came up misstated the gun laws in the state, right? They also didn't seem to understand the way bullets worked. I'm not trying to be a dick, right? But I think, what was it? Was it Richards when he came up and he was giving his clothes? He was like, you know, I've been on cases where they argue that, you know, you shoot the hollow points in them and the hollow points cause the most damage because they explode in the victim. And it's just like, you know, there was a bunch of problems when they were going over the gun charge to begin with. And I always said, like, it was weird because there is this thing in Wisconsin's own law. The gun charge never made sense. Now, if you want something to prejudice the jury, I think it was the curfew charge, right? Because let's be honest, nobody was,
in my opinion.
I mean, nobody was violating, like, nobody was following the fucking curfew.
All they had to do, though, was read the law and measure the gun. It shouldn't have been that difficult, but it was there up until Monday.
Well, you know, you have to blame Kyle's attorneys at the same time. You know, it's on them to, you know, demand that the charges be dismissed. And if they don't fight for that, then, you know, it's going to stay on the docket, right?
Well, what do you think of all the coverage which then went to go and say, well, it was ruled out as a technicality?
It wasn't, though. Like, I mean, I've seen that statute, like, from the beginning. I'm not trying to be, like, an asshole and be like, oh, how could these idiots not know? It just seems like people are, like, fucking ignoring it. Right? Like, it's been there.
It's just funny that a technicality is just, like, somehow, you know, it's not the law somehow. Like, the technicality is the law. But I guess we're not supposed to listen to that.
You know, here's the thing, right? They try, like, I saw this media outlet write-up that the law wasn't intended to be used that way, and they pulled this statement from this Republican, and his statement was something about how the law is intended to keep firearms out of the hands, or like keep most firearms out of the hands of minors, right? And I'm like, that's what the law fucking does, right? Like it is a specific type of gun only for people like at the age of 17. Like it's very specific. Right? It's a very specific exemption, right? And like, it does keep most firearms out of the hands of minors. So I was like, how is this a contradiction? There were so many things when it came to that gun charge. I never understood why they didn't fight it harder from the fucking get-go. But like, people going like, oh, this is a slam dunk. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty fucking sure it's not. What's up, John? How you doing, buddy?
John.
Yo, what's going on, boys? Is that my boy Broly Power Maximum?
That's me. I'm here. What's up? What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I'm glad you're here, but we'll save that for after the stream. But yeah, so
Nudge, wink, wink.
Yes, the Rittenhouse stuff.
Okay. Let's all right, so you can see some of these tweets. Now, Data Racer, this guy like goes through and just compiles these fuckers' tweets. So this is just a bunch of blue check marks tweaking the fuck out. Then you've got even more. Like, this country right now, I'm angry. Murderer Kyle Rittenhouse acquitted is a crime in itself. Fuck Kyle Rittenhouse. Fuck that judge. Fuck the American justice system. Fuck racist America.
Oh my god. Mask off. Well, if they say
dude, now this isn't mask off. This is people holding a fucking temper tantrum. It's amazing. It's fucking great.
Well, they're going ooga booga.
Dude, ooga fucking booga. You know what this is? It's that above all guy, but like on fucking steroids, this shit.
Oh god.
I hope the victims of Kyle Rittenhouse take that murderous motherfucker for every penny he has and every penny he makes in the future in civil court. You know what I was just thinking about, right? Like he's been acquitted, like he self-defense and everything. You can't, like, you literally cannot sue him civilly without that being brought up.
Yeah. Well, here's
I mean, right?
who's going to take sympathy for a guy who
for a pedophile
for a pedophile and a guy who beat a woman. Yeah. Okay.
Well, so
yeah.
Huber's
2021. Good luck.
So Huber's girlfriend, she sounds like one of those like far left wackos, but her statement was something like, I just
sympathized with Kyle a little bit.
Yeah, she goes like, he's a kid, and I'm like, like I mean, he is a kid, right? She's like, justice isn't him going to prison. So I like that. That's one of the family members. I really don't fucking care about Rosenbaum's family. I'm sorry, I really don't. Like, he victimized 5 boys. I really don't fucking care that pedophile ate a bullet. I wish he ate more bullets. I wish his teeth got fucking kicked in. I wish his nuts got shut off.
Lost his next bicep.
Yeah, look, when it comes to Grosskreutz, I mean, you can just judge him based on his own testimony. The guy is dishonest as all shit. He admits that he thought Kyle was working for the cops, and he admits that when he didn't think Kyle was an active shooter, when he didn't even know anyone had been shot, when he didn't know Kyle had done anything, he chose to pull the gun out of his waistband and go start following the kid that he thought was working for the cops. Like, that's insane. That is literally fucking insane.
It makes it worse, the fact that was what he thought.
Why?
He thought he was working for the cops or with the cops or whatever. Like,
Jesus I mean, look, he's part of like the Wisconsin Revolutionary Guard or some stupid fucking name, right?
That sounds so cringe.
Violent fucking communist revolutionary goes and follows somebody he thinks is working with the cops and has his gun pulled out. Hey, come on. What do you think he was gonna fucking do? And then he fucking makes this bullshit argument up. Oh my gosh, he pulled a gun on me and then he tried to fire it. And people are like, look, I mean, like, the evidence didn't line up with that. That was a new story from him. But he has to make it up because he's suing the city for $10 million and he's already lied about having a gun several times. Like, it wasn't just a one-time thing. He repeatedly kept lying about having a gun.
Is he the one who supposedly lost his gun on
Yeah, he's
accident?
UNICEF.
Yeah.
He's UNICEF.
Good old UNICEF.
God. Oh my gosh. I got to talk about UNICEF because that motherfucker is such a piece of shit. Is
Oh,
such
God,
a
is there more
gross,
dirt on him?
disgusting piece of shit. Like, look, after he gave his testimony, he then goes on, like, the very next day, this motherfucker's on Good Morning America and CNN, where he is saying that he had his hands up when he was shot, right? And there is no pushback at all from the
But that's not what he
haters.
said in fucking court.
It's literally going against his sworn fucking testimony. And these people are just letting this fucking bastard spew out outright fucking lies.
Well,
Sorry,
would you
John.
expect?
Media.
Sorry, John. Did I go too hard there?
No. I'm just saying. I mean, what would you expect from these people online? You know, they do nothing but stay on fucking Twitter all day. You know what I mean?
Okay, sorry. I've got to get a few of these. UNICEF or UNICEF? Is Monocept also good? I would say yes.
I like that one.
No Sept. I like that too, but this is my favorite. Bicep.
I see what he did there.
That's a good one.
Oh my god, dude. I thought the funniest shit in that fucking... Well, there was a bunch of funny moments, actually. But one of the funniest moments is where this motherfucker is like, and this is where your bicep was shot off, because this is where my bicep was vaporized. Like, I was like, oh my god, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, we're supposed to clown on you. Don't do it to yourself. And
He's trying to dramatize it.
But the best part is the defense attorney who's questioning him then repeats, so your bicep was vaporized.
So your bicep was vaporized?
I am just imagining, there's probably one person on the jury that just started fucking giggling like an idiot.
But you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of that Mike Tyson meme, the one the not going to work one, where they used that clip of a post fight interview they had with him, where he's just like, my back is broke, spinal. And that's what it reminds me of.
Oh, like, YouTube, you assholes! How did you already demonetize this stream?
Of course they were going to, dude. You know that.
I'm requesting review. This stream is totally legitimately okay. I have said nothing wrong.
You should have known, bro.
I said nothing wrong.
You knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen.
I blame above all.
Oh, God. Oh, dude, that was fucking hilarious.
That retard. Jesus Christ.
That was hilarious. I was like, what the fuck are you fucking going on about? Jesus. I think somebody probably timed him out again because I haven't seen him in the chat. Doesn't matter what I say to my mods.
He needs to pay for my medical bills because I literally have so much brain damage from listening to that conversation.
Dude, I thought it was funny. I thought it was
funny, but like, holy shit, did it kill me?
Well, you know, here's the thing, right? Like, I would love it if people actually had fucking questions or actually had things that they were like, you know, concerned with and they wanted answers to.
Like Dev, she was completely reasonable and had legitimate questions that she was asking.
Yeah, look, I think it's reasonable if you say things like, hold on, I didn't read this one. Jim Jones, thank you for the super chat. Crow, put him in his pals.
Now the mods did that.
Thank you. But Devin, you know, when you ask questions because you don't know something, it's totally okay. Even if you disagree with, you know, what we're saying here, or if you like really do have legitimate concerns with Kyle going out that night, I mean, like, I think it's reasonable. But at the end of the day, I was literally sitting there thinking, okay, let's say it was illegal for him to be there, right, with the firearm and everything. I don't. If you put yourself into a harmful situation, right, which is what they were saying he did, right, but then I see you actually try to retreat, and even when you retreat, they still go after you. I don't see why you sacrifice your right to defend yourself. I don't see why you're obligated to eat a fucking bullet or get curb stopped or craniumed right? Because I do want to talk about that skateboard thing and that fucking cranium term, because that's actually a well-known term for these fucking little fucking leftist rioting pieces of shit. But no, I got to talk about fucking Huber. So craniumed, right? So in the tape, before Huber attacks him or as Huber's attacking him, somebody shouts out cranium him, right?
Yeah, cranium that boy.
Yeah.
And this is when Kyle was on the ground, right?
Well, okay, so what cranium refers to is when you take something like a skateboard and you bash it into someone's skull. They call it cranium because what you're doing is smashing their cranium open. So yes, to me, Huber did intend to kill Kyle with his skateboard, right? And it has happened before, right? But like, if I hear someone call for you to cranium them, and you take your skateboard, and like, you're not trying to bash their hands that have the gun. You're taking your fucking skateboard and you're going for their forehead, right? Like, that will kill them. But one of the things about a skateboard, right? I get it's a wooden plank, which is more than capable of doing it, right? There's also that metal piece that holds the wheel too.
Crow, check our chat.
Hold on. Okay, yeah, I was gonna. Here. I'll link that article here. Hold on. We'll go back into this because there's two more screenshots there I wanted to show you. Here we go. So this is the skateboard article because yes, you can be killed. I don't even know why people don't understand this. I don't understand why people don't.
People can be killed by anything. Let's be honest.
You can. I mean,
to your fucking head.
Ouch.
That's why these people are so privileged as they sit there talking about their privilege that they don't understand what it's like to actually have their lives threatened or to have to think about these things.
Sen, you're breathing so fucking loud.
Take your mouth away from the mic. Jesus Christ.
Way to go. Sen, I literally feel like I'm being pushed against a brick wall about to be assaulted. What the fuck?
Wait, what do you mean?
We literally hear you smacking your lips.
You're like breathing so heavily.
Hold on.
You're doing ASMR right now. It's fucking creepy.
Oh shit, he left.
Oh god.
Sen, I didn't mean leave. I meant
I think he's trying to fix his mic. Hold on.
How about that? Is better?
That's better.
Okay,
yeah,
that's better. That's better.
Bro, like no joke. It sounded like you were doing mukbang ASMR.
No, literally, I felt like I was gonna be like assaulted.
Oh shit! Was it really that bad? Come on.
Yeah, you're like.
Yes, it was.
Okay, I gotta catch the replay.
You better.
All right, man dies after being struck in head with skateboard during fight in California Starbucks. November 9th. That's amazing.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so this happened in November too. Like that's amazing. So again, look, it's not controversial at all. Like one of the things I found so fucking weird was they kept trying to argue that, he had the gun. Oh, Grosskreutz had the gun. Well, Grosskreutz didn't have it pointed directly at him. I'm like, what? What?
We determined that to be a lie.
Okay, so like I'm sitting there going, what's this fucking argument that because you have a gun, they're allowed to beat the shit out of you? Like what? Because the point of having the gun is so that they don't get to beat the shit out of you, right? Like even if you want to argue that they were not capable of killing him, I'm sorry, but like they were certainly capable of causing him brain damage. One of them was trying to beat his head open with a skateboard.
Dude, you could, bro, you could beat somebody to death with your bare hands. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like he could literally beat his fucking head into the pavement too. Like, there's a couple of different ways this could happen.
Yeah, there's a reason they called him Jump Kick Man.
Yeah. Jump Kick Man was the legal name for one of the unnamed individuals during his trial. Yes, because they couldn't have referred to him as any other thing.
What the?
They called him Jump Kick Man.
So I'm guessing when he did the kick,
he made
when
I'm
he
gonna
threw the
name
kick.
my kid One Punch Man. Then
it was, it's fucking amazing though, because the prosecution is trying to argue these are no big deal, and you've literally got one of your people that you were saying was attacked unfairly and you're calling him Jump Kick Man. What do you think the jury is thinking when you call him?
Do you guys think? Do you
The
guys think he did?
fuck?
Do you guys think he did the Howard Dean scream when he did the kick?
Yeah, that's good.
He was
good.
probably hiding a kitten too. He's just choking at the death.
That's what I imagine. That's what I imagine Ethan would sound like. "Ah!"
And we're going to Wisconsin.
This foot, it's going in your face, and then it's going all the way back home.
Wait, okay, so BP and John Sen, you guys joined later. So right now, Jerry Nadler, he's this fat fucking Congress, has sent over the DOJ to review the Rittenhouse verdict to see if they can charge him with any federal crimes, right? I'm sitting there and I'm going like, I do not think that there is the willpower to actually do that.
That's not gonna happen.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. But the fact that they fucking even sent it over for the DOJ to review it is just really fucking scummy. Because it's not just that he got acquitted, right? It's that he got acquitted in spite of the games and the tricks and the outright bullshit from the fucking prosecution, right? In spite of all of the shit that they pulled, including sending manipulated evidence to the defense, right? In spite of all of that, the kid still got acquitted on all charges. And then these motherfuckers are talking about, oh, maybe we can charge him with federal crimes. I swear to fucking God, these people are outright fucking evil. Like when fucking Alex Jones goes, the vampire potbelly goblins, like, motherfucker, that really describes these
Those are the people he's referring
fucking
to.
monsters.
Yeah, I think he's just breathing fire. Like, I don't think anything's going to happen. I think that a lot of people are trying to use the theater of this. I think that's what it was all about for the prosecution. And I think that they missed a chance to have more of that by taking up the defense's motion for a mistrial without prejudice.
Well, I mean, look at Fluffer Boy, right? Either way, he's a winner, right? I hate to fucking
same deal
say
with
it.
all of these people. Like, the more they perpetuate this cycle of division and hatred, like, the more, like, either you can sit there and say, like, look at these bigots, and people are just dumb enough and too preoccupied with their lives, admittedly, to, like, actually get the details of every little thing, and will sit there and absorb the little bits of information from the comfortable news sources that validate their pre-existing ideas. Or, like, finally there is some racist whatever bigot who actually does stuff, so it's like a win-win either way, and they just kind of get shoulder pats and high fives regardless of what the actual truth is.
Well, okay, so, like, right over here, this is I think this is the voice actress for She-Ra, the fucking that really bad Netflix cartoon.
the ones that toys didn't sell for shit, thus getting the show canceled. Although they didn't actually want to say that, even though that's probably the truth, because that's what happens with shows like that. They said, "Oh no, the show didn't get canceled. It ended." No, that show didn't get picked up anymore because the sales for the merchandise absolutely fucking tanked. If the sales for merchandising for stuff like that tanks, there's not going to be any more of it. That's why Voltron also ended up getting canceled, because despite it received much more pop.
John, you're breaking up.
Jesus Christ, John, are you okay?
Yeah, John, don't worry. Everybody knows that her show fucking crashed and burned.
Anywhere. Yep.
Everybody knows
he doesn't even know.
He
doesn't even know what happened.
John, you disconnected for like 5 seconds.
Oh, what happened? Did you guys? What did you hear last before it cut me out?
Forgot.
Yeah, me too. Sorry.
Then it doesn't. Really
Show's
matter.
bad.
Okay, I don't know who Shane Lynch is, but I guess she's an actress on
Jane
Disney Plus.
Lynch.
Shane Lynch.
She was from Glee, and she played Sam's mom from iCarly or whatever.
Oh, really? Well, okay.
She's like a lesbian, I think.
Okay, so you can see here, the She-Ra voice actress is calling for them to burn it all down in Kenosha, and the Disney Plus actress is, may he live in fear for the rest of his little pig-faced life.
What the fuck, dude? That is
look, man. I'm just sitting there going, like,
holy shit.
Even
People
if you
think you can't be racist.
These
towards a
people
white
are
person.
mental.
I'm going, like, why the fuck are you going to fucking bat for a pedophile and a wife beater? Like, don't get me wrong. Even if you think that Kyle, like, intentionally killed those people, right, and he really did want to kill those people, why the fuck are you upset that a pedophile and a wife beater died?
Exactly.
Right? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm one of those people who goes like,
God.
let's try to protect all lives and everything. But let's be honest. I'm not going to shed a fucking tear for a pedophile and a wife beater.
Yeah.
Who the fuck would?
That's not a good combo.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean, okay, we're not talking about like a guy that committed statutory rape or something, right? No, we're talking about a guy, right, who would marry women so that he could violently rape their young sons. And he did it to 5 little boys, okay?
Between the ages of 9
Although
and 11.
statutory rape would still be kind of bad.
Statutory rape would be bad, but like said, I'm just
This
saying,
is
like on a scale,
worse, though.
on a scale,
This is
though,
way worse.
on a scale.
Oh no,
though,
for sure.
this
No,
is
we know
way
that,
worse.
but like still, damn, raping
Well,
good.
like I'm not defending one or the other. I'm just saying, like, this is like when you say pedophile, like, this is the absolute worst you can fucking be.
It's
Well,
better, it's worse than a fucking criminal. In fact,
Either
like,
they're
like
ignorant
a robber.
of the facts, or they just like don't care or think they can get by with hiding it to push what their
always
belief
do.
system.
Well, okay. I mean, if we're being honest, these two individuals have no fucking clue who anybody involved is, other than they think Kyle Rittenhouse is a white supremacist who went down there to shut down a Black Lives Matter protest.
And that all these people are innocent victims.
Honestly, I don't even know who these two people
This
are.
is look. This is what should
The voice actress
shitheads.
for
That's all that
She-Ra, which was a
really
very,
matters.
very
This-
not popular cartoon on Netflix.
Okay.
This is I got
And
canceled.
then Shane
It got
Lynch
canceled.
is a Disney actress.
Oh, no.
They got
I thought you
canceled.
said Jane Lynch.
I said Shane Lynch.
Oh,
Christ.
The
okay.
She-Ra cartoon. Look, despite what
Shane
anybody
Lynch,
says,
I don't know. who
Yes,
she is.
the crappy She-Ra show.
Yes, they can say all they want. No, the show ended. No. That show didn't get renewed. That show got
Yeah,
canceled.
let's complain is right. I get
You know
Jane
what was
Lynch
hilarious?
confused
Wait.
with Shane Lynch.
I got to just address this one thing really quick, and then I got to get this super chat. Hold on. Good luck trying to riot tonight. Wisconsin gun season opens tomorrow. Most of the citizens will already be armed. No. So Hassan was on Twitter, and he's like, well, there it is, the Rittenhouse precedent. I was going to go like, dude, straight up, it's self-defense. But also, he's not wrong. Yes, if you go out to fucking riot, and you attack one of these people who has a firearm, there is. I mean, they tried to go after this kid, okay? And look, the kid clearly acted in self-defense, but it's like, at this point, it's already happened, right? I don't think you're going to have the willpower to go through another prosecution like this. So yes, if there is a violent riot, and one of these rioters, I don't know, tosses a Molotov at one of these fucking, I don't know, these militia bro dudes or whatever, then yes, they're going to get shot. And there's going to be like a recent fucking case that they can reference when you try to prosecute them.
No,
so
literally,
don't fucking riot.
If they riot, they're just begging for another Kyle Rittenhouse situation to happen.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Here's the thing. If you want to go out and riot and you want to go like destroy buildings, legally those people can't stop you. They can't shoot you. They can try to, like, I guess, do like a citizen's arrest or some stupid ass shit like that, but that ain't really gonna happen.
Wasn't there an old man there who got like the crap beat out of him?
Yeah, they hit him with like a
So
brick
that's
or
what
something.
happens when you don't have a firearm in Kenosha.
Hey, I
apparently.
gotta go for a bit. I'll talk to you guys later.
Wait,
catch
so
you later,
Pro,
Joe.
what do you mean that they
Alrighty.
can legally destroy property?
I mean, like, you can't legally stop them with your firearm.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, look, if you're gonna riot and you're gonna go out and destroy property, they can't shoot you. But if you are going to attack them, okay, then yes, they can defend themselves. Period. That's it. End of story. Because look, you want to argue that, oh, I just have a stick. Oh, I just have a skateboard. Oh, I just have a.
I just have a mob.
I just have a
Apparently that
bat. I
precedent
just
was
have like
okay.
10 people behind me. Like, enough. Okay, they have this stupid fucking idea that if you have a bigger weapon, that means that you have this response. No. If you attack somebody, right? If you attack somebody in the streets, I have every reason to assume that you will cause them serious bodily harm, if not kill them. Because that's insane. You're insane. Insane people will kill people. So yeah, I have every reason to think that you're going to fucking do it. So yeah, of course, I have no problem if you get shot when you try to attack people in the street.
Yeah, I actually like that tweet. I don't think they're completely wrong, and I think it's actually a relatively good thing from my viewpoint. You know, because a lot of people are sitting watching this thinking like, dear, you know what? Like, can I actually protect myself if I am assaulted? Can I protect my loved one, my son, my daughter, my, wife? Am I not allowed to do this in a public space if some prosecutor is just going to say like, well, they were angry and that it was dangerous, but you're somehow to blame for the danger. Like, I don't understand how the prosecution is sitting there saying like, how dangerous all this was. And it was just like arson and all this other stuff. But you're the problem here. Like,
bro, BP, did you hear him do the fucking... I'll see if I can find the clip of Binger like doing his close and explaining everything that Rosenbaum did that night. And it's like, someone pointed out he should really start with something big and then downgrade it. But instead, he starts with the small things and then slowly builds up.
He just tipped over a porta potty, just set some fires. He just tipped over.
Dude, Binger should be investigated for how fucking corrupt he is.
No. The best part was fucking when he ends it and then he goes, "Oh, and he was shouting the N-word." And I'm like,
no.
Oh my god, dude, shut up.
Oh my god.
Dude, he's literally all day.
Fucking
all
AIDS.
day. All day he was dropping that. And we're supposed to sit here and talk about racial issues. Like this guy was sitting
Black
there
lives
dropping the hard
definitely
R.
matter. Black lives matter. Yeah. What else can I say? These people are insane.
Hell yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I love Monster. It's really good.
Give me 1 second.
Mountain Dew's better, son.
I'll try the energy drink Mountain Dew. I've never had that, actually.
The energy drink Mountain Dews are good. I have them all the time.
Lucky.
Yeah.
I just got a Monster right now. It's really good.
I can't handle Monster for some reason.
That's why we were hearing all the lip smacking. It's like, oh god,
Jesus Christ!
I think one of the funniest things that happened throughout the whole trial was when Binger started to try and make Rosenbaum out to be like this little manlet, and it's like he was just being tossed around.
God, it was so stupid.
I
Dude.
remember laughing so much because he's supposed to be. Yeah, well, you could argue that he's trying to get justice for this guy, but he's just kind of like spitting on his death and using it in such a unfortunate way, like looking in retrospect. And he went flying like 20 feet.
I really think that Binger was politically motivated and was trying to boost himself and his credibility up, surprisingly, which didn't work. Funny thing, Binger actually has prosecuted child molesters in the past, so the fact that he was defending one in this case was...
We called him a fucking hero.
Yeah.
Okay,
kind of funny.
Look. I get that you have to paint this guy out to be like this big victim and everything, but how fucking dare you call a pedophile a fucking hero?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch! You absolute son of a bitch!
That's not even true, though.
He went the extra mile.
Maybe he didn't have the choice, but the DA's office had the choice to prosecute this case or not, and chose to do so.
They went after him. Right? They went after Kyle Rittenhouse within fucking, I think it was 2 days of the shootings happening. The investigations hadn't even finished yet. I mean,
yeah, I mean, well, they needed somebody to blame for what.
Okay. I found the clip I want to play for you guys. But real quick, I thought this was funny. I don't know if you remember this. But this was when I believe Kenosha was actually burning down, right? Burn that shit down, burn it all down, right? 52820. And then they just attacked our sister community down the street. It's a gated community, and they tried to climb the gates. They had to beat them back. Then destroyed a Starbucks that are now in front of my building. Get these animals the fuck out of my neighborhood. Go back to where you live. 3 days later. Dude, this shit was hilarious. Because
dude. Rules for thee, but not for me.
This motherfucker was complaining about his gated community and his fucking Starbucks, right? Well, at the same time, cheering on the burning of low-income housing.
That's really fucked up.
All these people! These
are the
people
same,
don't
these
give
are
a
the same people
shit.
that advocate for like affordable housing and stuff.
Oh my god, these people don't give a shit, dude. They don't give a shit. All right, let me get the super chat. And you seen prosecution broke the law because he pointed the AR at jury and on top of that had finger on the trigger? Yeah, okay.
That was really sus.
They're going after this kid for reckless endangerment, right? Meanwhile, this fucking prosecutor picks up a gun, points it at people, and has his hands on the trigger.
Why did he even have a gun?
Well, okay,
there?
look,
like,
there's reasons to have the gun there, but if you don't understand gun safety and you're charging this kid with reckless endangerment, meanwhile you are acting recklessly, right? These are all just really dumb things to be doing, like incredibly fucking dumb things to be doing.
Yeah.
Well, the linchpin of the argument was the sudden last-minute reveal of this video, which was BS, but was that Kyle had provoked because he had pointed a gun. So I wonder if Binger is then suggesting that since he pointed a gun at the entire jury, that they could just mob him down and beat him up. Then
I mean, I wish one of the jurors just leapt out from the table, just started pummeling fucking Binger.
What if he actually did? What if he did pull the trigger?
Oh god,
that'd be so fucked.
Oh my gosh, okay, this isn't really an Alec Baldwin thing that we're doing tonight, but. You know, there's been 2 lawsuits now alleging that Alec Baldwin was just fucking around with the gun when he pulled the trigger.
Really?
Yeah, two separate lawsuits against Alec Baldwin and the film studio or whoever. But they're specifically targeting Alec Baldwin because he's the person who was like running the show or whatever. Maybe because he's got the most money. But either way, they're saying that he was acting recklessly with the gun.
I didn't hear anything else from that.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, it kind of died out. Like, I haven't heard anything from it.
It's still been going on.
Have you been keeping up, Crow?
The Alec Baldwin drama is...
Well, look, I've been keeping up on it, but like we have to understand is Rittenhouse has been dominating the news because of the trials been going on.
I mean, shit.
But like what's been going on with the Alec Baldwin thing, it's still very interesting. I mean, outright right now, I think you can firmly say that Alec Baldwin was 100% acting recklessly, right? Mm-hmm. You have 2 separate people alleging that he was fucking around with the gun. He was not supposed to pull the trigger. He pulled the trigger anyway. When he took the gun, what's being alleged in the lawsuit now is also that when he got the gun, he never checked it, and neither did the assistant director. And that they know that the assistant director never checked the gun, and that the assistant director is just lying. Yeah. So this is what's been going on. We might do a stream about it Sunday or Monday because there's been a lot of updates there, and I think the reason why people haven't like focused in on any of them is just because but it's really interesting what's been going on.
Yeah, I want to go back to Baldwin too. Actually, that one was pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, I try to just get into one thing at a time. You know, like life's so busy, and if I want to weigh my opinion on something, like
I haven't even kept up with the Rittenhouse thing. Yeah,
I mean, like I was keeping up the Rittenhouse thing because I just had more time to do it. But like the Rittenhouse thing, I found fascinating. The Alec Baldwin thing, though, like if you want a good little fucking conspiracy thing, and I don't even think it's that much of a conspiracy because we know Hollywood acts this way. I was listening to, I think it was on Tim Pool's podcast. They were discussing the idea that his PR firm was likely planting these fucking stories in the media that the gun had been fired and all this other shit, right? To basically set up the idea that it was an accident right from the get-go. And then when more details came out, it was more like people were like excusing it because they already believed it was an accident. But now it's like at the point where, you've got these lawsuits out there, right? Like I've already said right from the start, he was acting irresponsibly with the gun, right? But now we have people alleging that he knows the gun wasn't checked, and he just ran with the scene anyways. So, like, there's a bunch of shit there. I don't see any reason to give Alec Baldwin a pass on it. Like, I really don't. It sounds like this man acted incredibly fucking negligently, and it resulted in death.
Yeah, I think it's just safe to clarify he didn't intentionally kill her, because I feel like some people might try to twist it like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think so either, but at the end of the day, when you act negligently, and so fucking negligently, and it results in the death of somebody, you should have to face a penalty. I'm not sure I'm equipped to say what that penalty is, but this man should not be walking fucking free, acting like this sympathetic fucking piece of shit, right? He is responsible for a woman's death. He needs to be held fucking accountable. And anybody who's like denying that from fucking happening, for whatever reason, needs to really consider who they are as a fucking person. Like as a human being, I mean, right? Because it's just fucking disgusting to do. Like, I don't fucking care if you like the guy. I don't care if you hate the guy, right? You don't need to make shit up about him. You don't need to defend him when he's acting like a fucking moron.
Yep.
Yeah, anyways.
It's bizarre. It's like I'm watching something out of Case Closed.
Speaking
Stuff
of like
that happens all
weird
the time.
movie set situations, did they ever find Harrison Ford?
Oh yeah, he was missing for a bit.
He's been. I don't know if they found him or not.
Who knows? Like, here's the thing. I don't really care because that's probably gonna be his final movie, and that movie's gonna look terrible. So I'm okay if he just disappeared.
Do you want to hear one of the rumors that I heard that what the plot was gonna be? Like the end of the movie was gonna be?
What's the plot?
Well, I heard there was like something with time travel or whatever involved.
I will fucking shoot somebody.
Bad idea.
No. It'll be myself, by the way. How dare you do that? You gave us aliens and now you give us time travel in Indiana fucking Jones.
Yeah, they're gonna like time travel back to like Nazi stuff or whatever.
That's base.
But, like,
Very base. I like it.
The end of the movie, at least what was alleged, I don't know if this is true because they're doing like reshoots or whatever until Harrison just like disappeared, which I mean, I honestly don't blame him considering the fucking plot of the movie, allegedly. But apparently the woman in the movie was supposed to become the new Indiana Jones or whatever.
Okay, I don't understand that because
considering Kathleen Kennedy is co-producing it, I wouldn't be too surprised.
I don't know, but they've already introduced Indiana Jones' bastard son into the franchise.
Did they?
Yes, Shia LaBeouf is his bastard offspring.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, so why the fuck are you giving me female Indiana Jones? Shia LaBeouf should by the rights of nepotism become the next Indiana Jones.
No, Crow, you know why they can't do that is because whenever they introduce the female companion, instead of rescuing her, he's going to beat and assault her.
What the fuck? Okay, let me get these two super chats. Ari, thank you so much. Feel like these people are just butthurt. Oh my gosh, Ari, you could mine fucking salt for millennia off of these fuckers. GG Evan, thank you for the super chat. Mario equals jump man. 42-year-old felon equals jump kick man. Jacob Blake equals can't jump man.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Oh, too soon.
No, not soon enough. That was fucking great.
It happened a long while ago.
GG Evans, thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
So one day is gonna be all upset. How can he laugh at that joke? Because it was fucking hilarious, you stupid idiots. Okay. Look, I gotta play the video. Because this was like one of the worst possible ways I think anybody could close this fucking thing off.
Oh, let me tell you all the awful things Joseph Rosenbaum did. He tipped over a porta potty that had no one in it. He swung a chain. He lit a metal garbage dumpster on fire.
These are really bad.
Oh, and there's this empty wooden flatbed trailer that they pulled out in the middle of the road, and they tipped it over to stop some Bearcats, and they lit it on fire.
That's awesome. Like, dude, that's bad.
Freaking dangerous.
Is he trying to downplay this shit?
What he just... Okay, stop.
If you were alive... Oh, and he said
If
some
he
bad
were alive,
words.
he'd be
He said the
molesting more
N-word.
children. That's what he'd be doing.
He said the N-word. Like, dude, okay, listen. Me personally, yes, I don't think saying the N-word is a criminal offense, but
No,
the
but
problem
this is like people were arguing for
motherfucker.
Black Lives Matter shit after this. Like,
Yeah! Like, this
Do they not-
motherfucker is like walking around setting shit on fire, blocking police and emergency services from using the roads, right? And is screaming the N-word at people. These are all bad things. Like, I don't...
mm-hmm. Yeah,
What
and he
the
molested
fuck?
5 boys.
A combination of the things that makes it bad.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, okay, this is what I said, though. This motherfucker literally builds his way up in the shit that Rosenbaum did, and then puts the cherry on top by saying that he was out there shouting the N-word.
Yeah.
Like,
Great closing. Great
You know,
closing.
him bringing attention to that probably convinced that remaining Karen.
I mean, right? She's probably like, well, I don't want to let the kid go, but that man did say the N-word. Maybe he should have died. I don't know. Not guilty.
Based.
I mean, we're joking about it, but you know, there's a lot of emotion that goes on in these jurors' minds, even if they read the instructions and take them home.
Let's talk about our favorite individual, Chunky Yogurt.
Yay!
He's been really upset about the verdict. Like,
Of course
really
he
upset.
is. He's Chank fucking Yogurt.
Are you serious?
Yeah, well, okay. So again, this is simply about self-defense, right? Whether or not you have the right to defend yourself. If you want to argue like the kid, like again, I think it's more than fair to say that you think he shouldn't have been there and whatever else. Fine, but like, I'm not going to sit there and say if a 17-year-old puts himself into a dangerous situation, that when he tries to retreat from that dangerous situation, he should just eat a bullet for putting himself there in the first place. Are you fucking kidding me? Really? That's insane.
Okay,
that's
here's
incredibly
the thing.
fucking stupid.
Here's the thing. Did Kyle have to be there, or did he need to be there? No, but neither did any of these other fuckers.
Well,
I mean,
totally.
you sit here and listen to the prosecutors say
Well,
that
actually,
he
no,
was
hold
committing
on.
these felonies.
Hold on. That's incorrect. Rosenbaum did need to be there. Because Rosenbaum was not legally allowed to go to his girlfriend's house because he's a pedophile and there were children in the building.
He still had to walk 4 miles there.
So he took.
So Rosenbaum actually did have a reason to be there. He literally had nowhere else to go.
I mean, I'm
doesn't
starting
give
to
him
see
an excuse,
things
though.
in his point of view. Like, he's probably just trying to live in all these places.
Okay, so the Young Turks. Now, here's the thing, right? I don't understand why this motherfucker's still going on. The Young Turks is one of the many outlets that slandered a 17-year-old, a minor, right? Again, any statements they say about Kyle Rittenhouse when he's 18, right? I'm not going to say that they're fair game, but it's a hell of a lot harder to go after them for defamation. But when you're a minor, the fucking media cannot just go out there and say whatever they fucking want about you, right? There's more special protections we put on minors in the country, right? So this motherfucker should really be shutting his fucking mouth, right? Instead, he's like quintupling, infinity-tupling down on everything.
Well, didn't his co-host apologize or like backtrack?
She apologized for getting certain information wrong,
Yeah.
but like, it's not like she really backtracked on,
Well, it's more than what he
Kyle's
did.
piece of shit. Yeah, no. This motherfucker is like fucking he is going full on scorched earth on this shit, and I'm like, you got to give this man a little bit of respect because he was so desperate, right? He's so fucking desperate for money. He literally union busted his own company's union because of how little money he says that they make. And now this motherfucker is literally sitting in a very, very precarious situation, right? Where he has absolutely put out misinformation about a minor, right? that is completely against everything else, right? And he continues to fucking go on about it. I'm like, you're like so opened up right now. You are so fucking opened up right now. And you're so desperate for money. You have to respect the brazen stupidity of this man. The brazen fucking stupidity.
Can we just call Cenk Uygur the liberal Alex Jones? Can we just call him that, please?
Well, the sad reality is that the prosecution isn't going to have any real consequence. Also, because of the publicity that has been brought to this due to the prosecution trying the case, they're going to say that Kyle is now a public figure. And also, since the prosecution has alleged things, news media or whatnot can then go and repeat those arguments and really not have to face much consequence themselves, because they're not like, you can't sit here and be like, well, they're the ones who sourced this. Like, no, it's the prosecution in this case. If they're, depending on what they're saying, if they can couple it with the information that the prosecution gave, which was apparently a bunch of lies, but like it's hard to keep people accountable. And that's why you have so much of this social justice crap, which makes no logical sense and bypasses the law.
I got to bring this up because a couple of people already mentioned the Armenian genocide. So, okay, listen. The Young Turks was the group that committed the Armenian genocide, right? Now,
oh no.
Now here's the thing, right? Cenk, back when he was a Republican, way back when he was on like TV and everything, he called himself the Young Turk back then too, right? And this is when he was an establishment guy, right? He was an establishment player for the Republicans. This is way back years ago, but he called himself the Young Turk back then too. Anyways, when he starts his company, he calls it the Young Turks, right? And when pressed about the Armenian genocide, he gives some really strange answers, right? And then later, they acknowledge the Armenian genocide, right? And we're talking years later, not like days later. And they also state that Cenk isn't, actually talking about the people that committed the Armenian genocide. It's actually a hip term to explain an outsider in Turkish politics. And I'm sitting there going, it'd be really fucking interesting if, like, there's this conservative guy and he had this conservative fucking news outlet and he called it the Hitler Youth. But it has nothing to do with the Nazis. It has everything to do with being, like a hip outsider in German politics. So, anyways, this is actually pretty interesting, though. Because a lot of people don't know this, but I really love World War II. I love the history. Like, I love.
No, you good to clarify that.
No. Because what you have to understand is there is so much you can learn about human history, right? Human behavior, how people respond to tragedy, right? If you look at what occurs before, during, and after World War II. Right. It's really interesting. Okay. And I find it very fascinating. I love to look into it. But one of the things, and this is a very true statement, was that because the Young Turks essentially got away with the Armenian genocide, right? They did. Back then, nobody was going after them. They committed a genocide. They fucking got away with it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the time when Hitler and the fucking Nazi high commander, whatever you fucking call those assholes, right? Back when they were coming up with their final solution, right? They talked about the Armenian genocide, and they basically said nobody is going to go after them for exterminating the Jews. Look at what happened. Look at what happened in the Armenian genocide. Nobody went after the people that committed it because they won. So that's how the Nazis looked at it, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to go after them for committing the Holocaust because they're going to win. So you have Cenk Uygur, chunky fucking yogurt over here, right? Who stands up against white nationalism and the Nazis and the neo-Nazis and all this other shit. And he's literally named after a genocidal group that inspired the Holocaust. It's the levels of fucking backwards. It's so fucking backwards. It's insane, right? And I think that one of the reasons why this man goes so fucking hard at a wall, head fucking first in his underwear, is because if he doesn't, his audience can only focus on him and his own actions, right? You have this fat, belligerent fuck who way back when he was an insider, Republican, political fucking guy, right, was naming himself after the Armenian genocide, right? Continues to be named after the Armenian genocide. Union bust in his own company while criticizing others for not starting unions, right? And not allowing for unions. Saying like everybody else needs to have a union. But when his company tries to do it, he busts them and does it in the most like corrupt fucking way he can think of. This motherfucker, if he didn't go so fucking hard at like people like Kyle Rittenhouse and feed these little bitches I would say the red meat, but let's be honest, they're all vegan. The soy-based products that they are so desperately craving, then they would have to focus on him. And these motherfuckers always eat their own. The only meat that they will eat is the flesh of another human being that they are canceling. So let's hear about Chunky Yogurt's response to 12 people unanimously deciding that Kyle Rittenhouse acted in self-defense. And let's see how he will get it incredibly fucking wrong.
Does it start with they're all white?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think there was one black juror.
World's worst parent. She drove a 17-year-old with an AR-15 into what she perceived.
Okay, so again, kid didn't have the AR-15 when the mother drove him over to the friend's place or whatever.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, well, he is an embarrassing individual, but also like, here's the thing, because I've said like, look, I find it irresponsible the kid went there, but I'm not really upset with the kid. I'm upset with the police, right? Like this kid, it's his community. He has roots there. His father lives there. His grandmother lives there. His extended family lives there. His sister's boyfriend, who's also his best friend, lives there. He works there. He used to live there. He currently lives 20 minutes away from there, right? This kid literally wants to defend his community, and yes, it is his community, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this motherfucker is going like, how dare the mother do? Why wouldn't she? Right? Like it's probably something that she thinks is important too, right? If law enforcement fails to protect people, people will decide to defend themselves, right? End of the day, that's it, right? Like there's this like fascinating article, and I guess it's out from this woman who used to work for the New York Times, who says the New York Times killed her story until after the election, right? Based on what was going on in Kenosha, because she wanted to report this, like the insurance issues, right? And point out that these people were burning down in minority areas that were underinsured. And there was an insurance crisis, and these people, their policies couldn't even pay to clear the fucking rubble, right? She says they killed her story, right? And her words were something of the nature is they want you to let them burn down your businesses and your homes, not grab a fire extinguisher and thank them for it. And she's not wrong, right? These people wanted the privilege of going into poor communities so that they could riot and burn shit to the ground. And the motherfuckers who defended it went and said, oh, we're doing it for Black Lives Matter. And I said, there's like, you're burning black businesses down, motherfucker. You didn't go to the wealthy neighborhoods, right? And you would never go to the wealthy neighborhoods because those motherfuckers, the police will go out there and defend them. They absolutely fucking will, right? They absolutely fucking will. So you cowardly little fuckers went and rioted in the poor neighborhoods because the cops didn't give a shit about it. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. And then you wonder why this poor white kid and it wants to go to the community where his poor fucking family lives and wants to go defend it. And you really can't fucking comprehend it. You want to talk about his mother's irresponsible? You know, I hate to describe ill motivations for people, but I've literally watched Chunky fucking Yogurt over here go off on a flight attendant because his flight was delayed and he wasn't getting an answer and he demanded an answer, right? I've watched this guy shout at an elderly man at a mosque who told him to stop saying nasty things about Trump, right? We're talking like this old-ass fucking guy, right? You just give the guy his fucking bone. Like, why are you fucking arguing with this old guy at the fucking mosque? But Chunky fucking Yogurt, fat fucking yogurt boy over here, right? Who gets paid millions of fucking dollars to sit on his ass and lie to people, right? And he's gonna sit here and talk shit about this kid wanting to defend his community, right? And act like he's somehow evil and immoral, right? Chunky fucking Yogurt over here. I hate people like him. I really fucking do. I really fucking do. Because you can see it in his fucking fat fucking face and his quintuple chin that he knows that Rittenhouse is innocent, that Rittenhouse did nothing fucking wrong, but his brain-damaged audience that he cultivated, right? You can't blame the audience. He cultivated this incredibly inept, vapid group of individuals, right? Are just so fucking thirsty to see this kid's head on a pike, see him in prison, so they can all joke and masturbate to their prison rape jokes.
What the fuck?
Well, that's where I'll disagree with you on that one. I think everybody has to assume some personal responsibility, and until the culture of our country changes and people start looking at the world as a thing that they can do something for instead of a place that should do things for them, we're going to keep on going in this direction where someone can just spout this crap off and people are like, yeah, like that does seem to be the case, when it makes no sense.
Well, you know, BP, normally when people disagree with me, I argue with them, but I respect your opinion.
I mean, you can come back. What I'm just saying, people need to like stand up. You know, if you don't defend yourself, you don't stand up for your rights, then you're gonna get trampled. You're gonna lose that. And you know, I think that you're doing your part in trying to do that, but I think a lot of people they're scared. I mean, they see what happens to the Kyle Rittenhouses. You're supposed to just sit there, and the state can pick and choose when your rights matter. That's what the messaging is.
That's what's really fucked. Like that, it's completely unconstitutional.
Yeah, like people are allowed to go out and, you know, beat people up in mobs, but you're not allowed to go out there and be there yourself because you're somehow provoking these people because you know it's dangerous. Like just the whole thing, like the prosecution's arguments worked against themselves. So you knew it was dangerous. Well, if you're approaching someone with the big bad gun, don't you think that might be dangerous? Maybe you shouldn't chase them across the entire parking lot and throw things at them, shouting, "I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
Maybe that was the lapse of judgment. Just a thought, Banger, and all of these nutcases who probably haven't even seen this.
I mean, like, let's be honest. When the prosecution is accusing their own witnesses of perjury, maybe you're just wrong.
Like,
maybe you're just wrong.
I need you guys to just ignore everybody that we've brought on the stand and listen to my testimony. I submit to you that I look like Hitler with this weird mustache thing.
All right, I'm gonna go back and play this shit.
To be a dangerous riot. Oh, you want to go into in the middle of a dangerous riot? My 17-year-old son? Here, I'll drive you across state lines to do it.
Okay, actually,
everything about this still screams malding, coping, and seething.
Well, okay, let's just be honest. This motherfucker just said that it was a dangerous riot, right? So let's be clear. Chunky Yogurt is acknowledging that it was a dangerous riot, right? Not a protest, a dangerous riot.
Right,
okay?
Like they pick and choose when that applies, by the way.
Noted.
Just being clear. He acknowledged dangerous riot.
Oh, here's an AR-15. So in case a butterfly floats by, you just murder everyone. Okay, I'm sorry, kill everyone. Okay.
Sorry.
It's incredible, right? Because Rittenhouse actually encountered 2 of the individuals he shot prior to the shootings, right? And encountered Gage Grosskreutz, who was taunting him on camera. And when he did that, Kyle Rittenhouse ignored him, right? So for Chunky Yogurt to know that, actually same thing with Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum threatened to kill Kyle Rittenhouse. It is on tape, okay? And Rittenhouse did nothing to Rosenbaum when he did that. Did not draw his gun, did not point it at him, nothing. So for this fat, belligerent, alcoholic fuckwad to sit there and literally start saying that he's gonna show up and when a butterfly blows by, he's just gonna shoot everybody, right? You absolute alcoholic fuck.
Well,
right?
He had a gun all day, and I don't know, maybe Rosenbaum is a butterfly, but
like here's the problem. When Anna Kasparian, right, his little darling, right, when she openly says that she had no fucking clue about the evidence that was available on day 1, you alcoholic fuck, right? When she says that she didn't see any of the evidence that was available on day 1, and it took her, a year plus to actually look into it before she issues her correction. The fact that this dumbass is now going off is like, bro, your own network has been outed as having no fucking clue what they were talking about for over a year. And these assholes reference Rittenhouse all the fucking time. God damn. God fucking damn.
So long as people keep on, giving them money to do that, though, like there's incentive to do that. And that's why I think, this asshole has some responsibility to tell people the truth with the following he has. You could argue, but moreover, people need to they need to wise up.
His audience doesn't want the truth. His audience wants to be fed the same bullshit, but literally,
they want to live
and
in
shove it
Chang
straight up their ass and just keep pumping it in every day. Fucking weirdo, dude.
Right, because they think they're on the winning
chamber.
side. They think they're on the right side of history, just kind of like you were talking about earlier, and that's kind of like the crutch of the idea of socialism is that you're part of the mob. Anyways.
Okay, she's a despicable parent. Yeah. No sane parent would ever do that. But the right wing in this country is crazed. They're crazed. They can't wait to shoot people. Which leads me to the biggest culprit.
Dude, I see no difference between this fucker and Alex Jones.
Well, it's hilarious. Chunky Yogurt over here. What is going on about the right wing is praising this guy, or Rittenhouse, how it's dangerous, and everybody on the right wing is bloodthirsty and shit. This brain damaged alcoholic fuckwad who likes to fight with flight attendants and old little Arab men at mosque, right? This dumbass actually supported a murderer named Michael Reinl, right? Michael fucking executed someone in Portland. Straight up executed someone in Portland, right? And then when the police went to arrest him, Michael, while he was sitting in his truck eating fucking gummy worms, pulled out his gun and started firing at the cops. Chunky Yogurt over here called it self-defense when he straight up executes somebody on camera who had his back turned. This dumbass is literally saying everybody on the right wing is bloodthirsty because we're sitting here saying Kyle Rittenhouse acted in self-defense. Meanwhile, Chunky fucking Yogurt, the alcoholic fuckwad who thinks it's cool to fight with little old flight attendants and old men at mosque, right? This dumbass supported a murderer who executed somebody on camera, right? And called that self-defense, right? If I say executed, I mean we have video of Michael stalking his victim and then coming up behind his victim and open firing on his victim. And this dumbass called that self-defense. And now he's out here arguing that the right wing is supportive of killing people and they just want to shoot everybody. This dumbass literally backed a fucking murderer. Okay? I'm just like, oh my God. I get.
Did this guy have the correct politics? And was that a big scary gun?
It was, well, you know, he was a little pussy, so of course the gun wasn't that big. It was a little tiny pistol. Yes, he did have the right politics. Unfortunately, he also liked to suck dick like Cenk Uygur.
Okay, please continue.
Okay.
Culprits of all, the Rittenhouse fans or supporters. Yes, that includes all of them. Like all of the Alex Jones, the Tim Pools, the Joe Rogans, the millions of crazed Rambo wannabe right-wingers in this country.
Yes. Wannabe Rambo right-wingers like Joe fucking Rogan, #1 podcast in the country, is a Rambo right-winger. Chunky Yogurt slammed his fucking head into the wall when that verdict came down. And his excuse is the severe TBI he has right now and his inability to do research. God damn it, dude. He's been beefing with Joe Rogan. I guess Joe Rogan said he would never have Chunky fucking Yogurt on his show because Chunky Yogurt is such a dishonest fat fuckwad. So now Joe Rogan, the most popular. Can you imagine how stupid that is, right? Can you imagine how fucking stupid that is? You're literally telling everybody that the #1 podcast in the country, right? This guy's got millions of fucking followers, and you're sitting here telling us all that he's an insane Rambo right-winger? Because all that tells me is like your side is losing desperately because TYT is nowhere close to competing with Joe fucking Rogan. Or Tim Pool. Certainly not the two of them together.
All right. I mean, if you're sitting here looking at the thing in the perspective that the mob should rule, why would you then go and make an argument saying that there's millions and millions of these people who have these opinions?
Well, one other point, though. Because they try to argue bias from the judge.
What?
Oh, sorry. This one. They tried to argue bias from the judge and like the judicial misconduct, and I'm going like,
it was almost the opposite. The judge,
well, he helped.
It,
he helped the prosecution in a major way, right?
Yeah.
The judge left something out for the defense, right? And you see people on the left freaking out and calling it judicial misconduct, all this stupid shit, right? But actually benefits the prosecution way more. Because he refused to let them include some statement from Kyle Rittenhouse 4 months ago when he was sitting outside of a CVS, right? And he goes like, look, he's sitting there, he's contemplating. What happened there is, you know, it all happens in the heat of the moment. What happened 4 months later, it's literally not the same. So you can't include it, right? But the same reason why he did that was the same reason why he was not allowing the defense to point out the criminal history of Rosenbaum and Huber, okay? And look, I am not saying that, and it really should, just to be clear, it should. But I know that being a disgusting fucking pedophile and being a wife beater does not mean that you should be shot in the middle of the street in broad daylight, although you really should be, or in the middle of the night, although you really should be. But if you tell 12 people in a room, this 17-year-old gunned down a man that violently raped 5 little boys between the ages of 9 years old and 11 years old, I guarantee you, well, you may not get an acquittal based solely on that. You will absolutely have a hung jury. Because there's going to be at least a good handful of those people sitting there saying, I don't fucking care that the pedophile ate a bullet.
You know, I'm
so that
surprised Binger didn't add that at the end of his little sarcastic spree. What did he do? You just like diddled 5 boys. Like.
Yeah. I'm just like, dude, that absolutely helps out the prosecution, right? You might. what they want is for the judge to make a ruling and have it only benefit the prosecution and negatively impact the defense. It doesn't work that way, right? This motherfucker, right? Remember, he wants to see progressives in politics. He wants to see them take higher office. He wants to see them take the presidency, institute all their policies, okay? This fuckwad, okay, has sat there and watched a trial in which a prosecutor, right, violated the constitutional rights of the defendant, not once, but twice, and then also turned over manipulated evidence to the defense, okay? And in spite of all of that,
Well,
the
that's
defendant was found not guilty.
That's also going against his constitutional right, because you have a right to.
Oh, sorry. You're right.
To hear what you're being accused of, and he couldn't, air quote, hear.
Sorry, BP, you are correct. 3 violations of the defendant's constitutional rights by a prosecutor, and Chunky fucking Yogurt over here is going off on how this kid was acquitted, right? Let's say that you want to see that kid put in prison. Fair, fine, whatever. You cannot sit there and tell me you're okay with a prosecutor 3 times violating someone's constitutional rights. Okay? Because all I can say is if you're okay with that, I never want to see you near any type of position of power over another individual, because you absolutely will abuse that power. 100%. You don't care that the prosecutor was violating these kids' constitutional rights. I don't, even if he's a murderer, even if he was a fucking murderer, you cannot allow the state to violate your fucking rights. Because if they'll do it to him, they'll do it to other people. Why wouldn't they? Everybody was watching this case, you asshole. Everybody was watching it, and the ADA still said, I'm going to do it anyways.
I mean, it comes out of a place where, again, he thinks he's on the winning side of history. He knows that he's privileged, and so he wants the people with the big, scary guns to be the people around him. And I think that one of the weirder things about, the gun versus the drug argument is well, everybody's doing drugs anyways, and having all these rules against drugs is just hurting these minority communities. But, we should make all of these gateways for people to have to go through to get guns, and somehow that's not going to do the same.
Well, look, I mean,
in other words, the rich white people will have the guns.
My thing is, I don't necessarily disagree with some of the communists when they talk about how wealthy individuals will absolutely abuse their power, right, over people who do not have said wealth. I can actually agree with that idea, right? I disagree entirely with how they plan to solve it. But we can at least agree on the problem.
Right.
And maybe we can come to a solution together, right? The problem is, though, you have jackasses like this guy, right? You also have jackasses on the right, too, that kind of do it, but it's nowhere near as intolerant as it is on the left, where they refuse to work with anyone unless they agree on everything, right? You have to agree on these key premises that Black people are always discriminated against, no matter what, will always be discriminated against. We should pay them reparations, all the fucking crazy shit.
Well, you should be looking at this whole trial in the completely different scope of the context that it's in. You should
free fucking healthcare for everybody, period, including people that come in illegally, because it will no longer be illegal. That should be completely legal, right? We need to outlaw fossil fuels entirely, switch entirely to green energy. You need to agree on all of these key premises, and also that we should at least defund, but preferably abolish the police as well, right? But if you don't agree on all of those things, then fuck you, right?
Whatever else we tell you.
Yeah, look, I have a bunch of friends, and I used to have more, who really do feel that way, really hardcore fucking Bernie bro types and everything. And I used to think Bernie had some good ideas, but now I've seen that he's a pussy too. So that's not really going to work for me. But look, I don't see how we can ever come to like solving the problems in the country, because at the end of the day, in spite of anything that Chunky Yogurt might think that he is capable of doing, you are not going to imprison a third of this nation. You are not going to do that. You're not going to imprison a quarter of the nation. You're not going to imprison a tenth of the nation. So these people that disagree with you are still going to fucking exist, right? So anytime Chunky Yogurt sits there and screams that they're all violent murderers, and they all want to shoot people, and they're hateful and all this other crap, right? It solves literally nothing, because you still have to work with those people. This idiot literally thinks that he can just exclude everyone who disagrees with him from the conversation. It doesn't work that way, right? It really doesn't work that way.
Right, like you can't just quantify or qualify a person's entire existence based on their disagreement with you on one issue. Or at least you shouldn't, but because we can only deal with so much information at a time, people just are lazy.
Well, let's talk about like one of the most childish things, though, BP. It's this idea of this national divorce, right? By childish, I mean it's very imaginative that you think that it would work out so fucking perfectly that people would all of a sudden agree when they're not agreeing on anything else and divide up the nation evenly amongst each other. It would never fucking happen. So at the end of the day, you have to work with these fucking people, right? The people on the right really don't want to work with the people on the left because they think that they're insane, they're intolerant, and they will lie. The people on the left don't want to work with people on the right because they think they're all bloodthirsty fucking bigots, and it's okay to lie and cheat, because why would you have any honor towards bloodthirsty bigots? I mean, it's childish and it's stupid, BP, because you're not going to just exile that many fucking people. They're gonna exist. You're not getting rid of them. And the more you try to like deny their existence or deny that they have any valid fucking concerns, the more
they're gonna resent that, and the more they're gonna, yeah.
Well, look at what's going on in Virginia right now.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, I agree with you completely. That's the thing. It's like you have to learn how to be okay with other people having different ideas. You have to be able to work with these people. And I think, we are dealing with an unprecedented level of technology, which people think like, oh, I can just like unfriend this and remove this person, and I can block bot all of these people, and I'm only going to hear and I'm only going to see the things that I want to. And look, people get further and further in these, in our algorithms. And if people aren't like being reflective of why they have the opinions they do, where they come from, and challenging themselves and taking on that personal accountability. I was talking earlier, like it's just so easy. Like this is the default state of the human being, is to find explanations for the things that they aren't going their way. And it's just so much easier to find fault outside of oneself, and to not have to sit there and think like, oh, maybe I need to deal with this. Maybe I need to work with this. Maybe there's a reason somebody has this differing point of view. But instead, what we have is that Twitter comment where everybody who thinks that this is okay is evil. Like, obviously, no. And if it had gone the other way and people were happy about it, then obviously no. Like, people could be ignorant. People, there's all kinds of reasons that people come to their opinions. And to sit here and stereotype half of the nation every time this happens on every single issue is just actual ignorance. Like, that's the actual problem.
To be clear, Chunky Yogurt at this point is doing it to more than half of the nation, because he's hit every single conservative, right? He's also hit the majority of independents, because, again, you're going after Joe Rogan.
Well, he's also hitting the old liberals.
Yeah, you're going after you're going after independents, because a lot of those independents used to be liberals. They're independents now, but they still listen to those people. So you're attacking the people they like. You're also going after people that don't pay attention to politics, because you regularly shame them when they disagree with you and they don't agree with you. And then you're going after your own side because, again, it's Joe fucking Rogan. Like, there are plenty of liberals who watch Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan believes in universal health care. Joe Rogan believes in legalizing fucking drugs. Joe Rogan is way more to the fucking left than fucking chunky ass yogurt over here gives him credit for, right? And this dumbass is slandering everything Joe Rogan stands for as right wing, as vile right wing. I mean, like, these people are insane. Like, I
Right. I mean, it's the kind of thought process is like you can only have friends who think a certain way. You can only have family members think a certain way. Like, this is breaking up families. That's how crazy people are. You know, you can only date certain types of people. Like, I'm engaged to somebody who has the opposite kinds of views I do on a bunch of issues, and still we can coexist. And people like him, I don't know, maybe this is just his online shtick, and he's actually like a reasonable, decent human being behind it all, but I seriously doubt it.
Look, I think a lot of this was money motivated. Like, I don't know what the business strategy here is, because look, he's on the hook for defamation. He absolutely is. Most of these outlets are. He was a 17-year-old. He can go after all of them, right? So I don't understand what the strategy here is. Like, keep firing up his base of dwindling supporters, right? Keep trying to get them motivated, aggravated, generate more views, generate more money, more clicks and everything. It could be that. I mean, look, it's a good grift to ride out, I guess, but I just, you're not getting rid of these people you keep fucking demonizing, right? Like, even when I talk about Chunky Yogurt over here, I think he's fucking stupid as shit, right? Like, literally stupid as shit. But, like, I don't think that this motherfucker, like, wants to go out and murder people, right? Like, you know what I mean? I don't think he's like, go out with the gun, like,
even though he's screaming crazy.
But you know what he has said that he wants to do? He wants to detain people that disagree with him. So, like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, a lot of these people, like fucking Chunky Yogurt, I think that they're just like, it's in their minds that they can just detain everybody who disagrees with them, and it will just all work out. Like, it's getting like to this point where I'm like, these people don't care if they violate your fucking rights as long as they get their way. These are all major fucking red flags, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. They don't care if they violate your fucking rights, because as long as they get their fucking way, it doesn't matter. They don't care if they break the law that they proclaim to support, because at the end of the day, it's all about them getting their way. We need to stop pretending people like fucking Chunky ass Yogurt over here care about any of the positions they talk about. They don't. They just want to have their way. They don't care if they're being hypocrites. They just want to have their fucking way. They don't care if their side says racist shit all the time, because they just want to have their fucking way. When they go out and they criticize you and they act all outraged and pissy, ignore them, because I guarantee you these assholes have done the exact same shit before.
Right. They just want the positive consequence that behavior gives. The problem is that if you're Kyle Rittenhouse, you know, you have to imagine, like, you tried in your mind standing up for what was right, and it nearly took your life. It did take a year of your life. I don't know if he ever walks into a courtroom again. You know, like, he got out of that courtroom, and he got out of there quick.
Well, that's because so many people are outside.
Yeah, but it's also because, I mean, you could see him breaking down even as he walked past where the judge was sitting. But I mean, that would be traumatic for me. And I'm not an 18-year-old boy, like 17 through 18.
Yeah, look, I'm just like, that kid has every right to sue these assholes, right? Take them to fucking court. Take the city to court. Like, that prosecution, I think, can clearly point out as malicious. I think he should go after everybody. Never have to work a day in his life.
I mean, an idea.
We're like, why don't you just bring weapons? Self-defense, murder. They just want to kill. So they go into the middle of protests with these goddamn weapons, looking to pick a fight, and then
Hey, dumbass, you already called them violent riots. Dangerous riots. Now they're protests again. Shut the fuck up, you fucking idiot.
Choose a lane, bro.
I know, right? Idiot, fuckwad, dumbass, alcoholic, piece of shit, garbage ass genocide supporting piece of fucking garbage chunky ass yogurt, right? You literally already called them dangerous fucking riots. Okay? And again, I know this is really hard for a dumbass like this to understand, but if this kid spends his entire life in one area, his family lives in that area, he works in that area, he spends all of his time in that fucking area, right? He probably feels a connection to that area. So when your dumbass fucking quote unquote protesters, right, are out there burning down property that these people cannot pay for, so you're actually harming real people, not the wealthy, you fucking scumbag, right? He probably feels like, I should go help these people, right? And he's on camera helping people. As much as you want to argue that he wanted to go there and just shoot people, this fucking kid, for hours of fucking video, is out there giving people medical aid, cleaning fucking buildings, and doing other good Samaritan types of shit, right?
No, bro, it was all the long game.
Yeah, right?
He knew.
Kyle should sue Chang.
Like later,
Really? This, no, hold on.
Now, this little manlet who you could throw 20 feet. I'm going to get him.
He should. Chang openly fucking lying about him. But he should just go after the statements TYT made when that kid was 17. Everything.
The minute Rittenhouse actually shoots these people, they're ecstatic. They love that he killed them. That's why they're his fans.
What the fuck? Holy shit.
Again, I don't love that he killed people. I just don't fucking care that a pedophile ate a fucking bullet. And the fact that you act outraged that a pedophile ate a bullet speaks a lot more towards fucking you than it does towards fucking Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
You stupid, alcoholic, belligerent fuckwad.
No, I mean, if anything, people are glad that, the average person will look at this and be glad that an innocent kid got, what he deserved. He did have to pay the price of going through a trial. Like, he does have PTSD.
And the public slander.
The public slander. Like, he's had a mob chasing him ever since that day, and that still is not over. He is not going to be whole. Maybe he never completely gets over this.
His defense attorney said after the third death threat, he stopped answering his phone. Like, this is what the assholes who support chunky fucking yogurt do, because this fat fuck has convinced them that there are these righteous fucking crusaders trying to stop a vile white supremacist. Assholes like fucking chunky yogurt, I think, inspire so much fucking violence, and it never gets talked about.
Well, if you can demonize somebody, then you can enact and take away their rights. So
it's the power, I think.
Oh, sorry, he's gonna keep going off like the fucking idiot he is.
Fan of. If the shoe's on the other foot, and some guy goes into the middle of a right-wing protest with an AR-15 and he's progressive, and he goes, "Oh well, they provoked me. Somebody threw a plastic bag. The other one did a skateboard, so I killed him." I don't become a fan of that guy.
Yeah. Okay, but like, look, if somebody on the left straight up went to a right-wing fucking rally with an AR-15, right, and the people on the right threatened to murder him, and then started chasing him, right? And then lunge at him, and he shoots that person, he is 100% justified. If another one, let's not even say a skateboard. Let's just say a piece of fucking wood, right? A sturdy plank of fucking wood, right? He takes that plank of wood and tries to bash that left-wing guy over the fucking face with it, and the left-wing guy shoots him before he can. Completely justified. You know the only difference here? If the shoe was on the other foot, Files would never be fucking charged. They would never press charges if the shoe was on the other fucking foot. Because none of these assholes that work in these media outlets would say shit about it. Because when Michael Rydell straight up executed somebody, Vice went and interviewed him so he could talk about how he felt threatened and how this evil Trump supporter was attacking his black minority friend.
Yeah,
That's what would happen if somebody on the left shoots somebody in self-defense. You would absolutely praise him because Chunky fucking Yogurt sucked the dick of an actual murderer who murdered a Trump supporter. He absolutely fucking did that. So yes, you would absolutely consider them a hero. You would support them. You would have them on your channel. You would put their name out there. You would tell people to go support their GoFundMes. You would absolutely fucking do it because you've done it before. Holy shit, he's actually done it before.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, a normal person would want the consequence of the law to apply. And I think a lot of people think that the consequence should take into a bunch of things that really shouldn't matter because things haven't been historically fair. Let's just be honest. There's an absolutely embarrassing past to this and almost every country in the world. With that said, how do you come to an equilibrium where justice is blind, where everybody exists at the same field?
I don't know. I literally don't know. Because there is a profit incentive for this fat fuck to go out there and lie to the public about what's going on. And unfortunately, as South Park proved in their landmark episode about the 9/11 conspiracy, a quarter of our nation is indeed retarded. And that is the overwhelming majority of the TYT audience.
I feel like one of the problems we have now is people are breeding these feelings where they might not have been before for people. They're breeding these ideas. They're forming these chips on the shoulders where people before they might not have had these experiences, and now because they've been told all these people are out to get them on one air quote side or another, now these people have all of this hostility and anger, and they're just tools.
Well, unfortunately, those tools are wielded against the public every single time. There are probably things that Shank and people on the right would agree on, and maybe they wouldn't agree on the solution, but they probably work together. Unfortunately, Shank has made rational people his enemy, and he's made irrational people his supporters. So at the end of the day, I think anything you do with Shank Uger can only result in a net negative.
Yeah,
Let me just get these 2 super chats.
Yeah.
GG, you have a name for a super chat. Back up this stream before YouTube does its thing. I'll try downloading it when we're done tonight. Chris, man, what are the chances of Chunky has syphilis?
Oh shit!
Goddamn!
Holy fuck!
High. Excessively high.
I mean, his brain is in the middle of rotting like someone with syphilis has. So.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't become a fan of that guy. I say that's insane to go in the middle of a protest with an AR-15 looking to pick a fight so you can kill people.
Michael Reinold, except I don't think it was an AR-15, but he literally went to a right-wing protest, then stalked somebody, executed them, and Chunky Yogurt sucked his dick when that man... I'll keep going.
But the right wing in this country is steeped in violence. They're soaked in blood, and they can't wait to kill. So guys, America, I hate to say it because I love this country, but America has now become a super scary place where people are constantly killing each other and getting away with it.
It's called Chicago, you dumb, belligerent, alcoholic fuckwad. This has always existed. Where the fuck does this guy live? It's clearly not in the United States with everybody else, right? I think
he lives in Armenia.
It wouldn't surprise me. Let's talk about the prosecution's key witness, Gage Grosskreutz.
Oh God! Fuck
so this is Andy No, okay. Andy knows is a great journalist that they absolutely fucking hate. Gage Grosskreutz, the person armed with a pistol who went after Rittenhouse and was shot in arm. His bicep was vaporized, Andy. Misreported fucker. Says he's an ACLU legal observer. He has a long criminal history that includes a gun-related conviction. David Cole, ACLU legal director, previously called for gun restrictions at protests. Now, look, I don't care what the ACLU requests, because the ACLU, again, the ACLU has defended the constitutional rights for serial killers, pedophiles, racists, all sorts of evil individuals, right? But when it came to Kyle Rittenhouse, when it came to the state 3 times violating his constitutional rights, the ACLU shut their fucking mouths, right? The ACLU is a corrupt institution that's completely sold out every single one of its values. And again, they used to be values that even if you didn't like what they were doing, you could respect them. At this point, you cannot respect that institution whatsoever at all, period.
Well, the bottom line is money. You know, like you have a
good night,
lucrative, you have a lucrative profession. You know, you have these liberal arts colleges, so people thinking like, "Oh, I want money. I'm going to go to these colleges." Like, how do you get these amalgamations of these people, and where do they end up? Like, eventually, it's just going to kind of tip the scale, and it's going to become this political machine. When it gets big enough.
I mean, wait, hold on. I was trying to find something.
I mean, he was literally the best witness for the defense. Oh, so he didn't vaporize your bicep until you pointed your gun at his head. That's right. It was vaporized. So it was vaporized?
Oh, good. Gage Grosskreutz also is a domestic abuser. That's amazing.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I've got his criminal history from Andy now as well.
Seems to be a lot of that for these angry people burning down communities.
Okay, so like this motherfucker kept arguing that he had a permit to hold his gun, like conceal and carry. And they kept saying like, well, it's invalid, right? And I was like, well, it doesn't sound like it expired. It sounds like he did something. Yes, he did. Apparently, he had a gun and he was drunk and he was firing off the gun like a fucking drunken idiot. So that was one crime that he committed. The other crime was burglary. I'm not entirely sure if he had the gun when he committed the burglary, but the other crime was apparently he committed some domestic battery. So Gage Grosskreutz is also a domestic abuser. I don't care that he shot these people. They seem like awful fucking people. UNICEF seems like the least offensive of these people, and he's a dishonest communist wife beater. I say wife beater because domestic abuse, but it could be his boyfriend. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
like fucking Fluff Boy or whatever. And Chad.
Fluffer Boy 4 or whatever. Boy. Yeah, I mean, the embarrassing thing is not only did Kyle have a solid self-defense case, like it was just straight up self-defense. The videos prove it. But then you look at the people involved and you're like, why are we like going beyond the facts of the case to look at the emotional side of this? You know, like these people who have these opinions afterwards, you would think like, well, maybe there's a reason for that. So you're trying to put yourself in their shoes. Well, that still doesn't apply. So the only thing left is that these ideas validate their pre-existing beliefs about something, even though it makes no sense.
Oh, sorry. Fucking John is doing a Discord call. That's like you're going off while BT's talking. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. I have his criminal list, but let's keep going through the thing here. Gage Grosskreutz, who was shot in the arm by Rittenhouse, is asked if he had the permit to carry the firearm he had when he rushed towards the team. I did hear a response. He asked if the permit was actually valid. It was not. So I could play the clip. I think everybody remembers this. He does admit that the permit he had was not valid. It's not valid because he has a criminal history, which invalidated it. Breaking the confirmed Twitter account of key Rittenhouse prosecution witness Gage Grosskreutz, who was shot in the arm by teen after rushing after him with a pistol, shows he's been tweeting about the case and trial Kenosha. So Gage, where he called Jack Posobiec a pussy. Gage Grosskreutz, a member of People's Revolution Movement, chased Kyle Rittenhouse and pointed a loaded handgun at him. He was illegally in possession of the gun. He later admitted he regretted not killing Kyle. Ha 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 ha. Cope harder soy boy.
Jesus.
And then, of course, just in case you needed further proof that Gage Grosskreutz is a violent communist revolutionary, he self-identifies as Antifa. There you go, everybody. There you go. There you go.
That's the icing on the cake right there.
Yeah, let's talk about his criminal. Let's talk about his criminal history. Cause he's a fucking angel, apparently, right? Exclusive. Criminal with a history of domestic abuse, prowling, trespass, and burglary, but had charges dropped just 6 days before trial began, and jury never learned of his past. So, he had charges that he was facing, and 6 days before they went into trial against Kyle Rittenhouse, prosecution dropped all charges against Gage Grosskreutz.
He made out like a bandit.
Oh, he absolutely did. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, he didn't get a bum deal at all. Like, he lost a bicep, but he avoided criminal prosecution.
Yeah. Wow. What I don't understand is why Jump Kick Man wasn't why he wasn't extended the same offer. He must have really had some bizarre stuff or something. Because wow.
Oh my God. Okay. What? Sorry. There was only one charge that got dropped against Grosskreutz. Okay.
Was it the gun?
Yeah. Remember? Okay, guys. Remember when I said it sounds really weird that this guy says he thought Kyle Rittenhouse was working with the cops, okay, and that he had no clue Kyle had shot anybody, but he decided that when Kyle turned and started jogging away from him, to take the gun out of his waistband and follow Kyle, right? And I said, it sounds like he was attempting to kill somebody working with the cops, right? If not a police officer, because he misidentified Kyle. Okay. Yeah. In this statement, this was the charge that was dropped against Grosskreutz, okay? Less than 10 days before he was shot by Rittenhouse, Grosskreutz was arrested and charged with prowling when he was caught videotaping cops' personal cars. This motherfucker was stalking the police to get their personal... Okay, look. When you get their personal cars, you get the license plates, you can look up their registration and get their home addresses. Gage Grosskreutz was attempting to dox police officers 10 days before, following somebody with a gun that he thought was working with the cops.
Sounds to me like that's something like what a domestic terrorist would do.
Come the fuck on.
Police bad is the right politics, though, for that kind of deal from a binger.
This motherfucker was absolutely.
I think he should have lost more than his bicep.
Here's the thing, right?
The prosecution calling that a bicep.
Here's the thing, though. The prosecution dropped the charges 6 days before they took Kyle to court, right? That means that the prosecution knew that if they pressed those charges against Gage, that it would be brought up in Kyle's trial. So they dropped the charges against Gage to solidify their prosecution of Kyle. Because here's the thing. If they had Gage, who says that he thought Kyle was a police officer, so he started following with his gun out, then it absolutely would have been relevant that 10 days before, this motherfucker was attempting to dox police officers by following them and getting their personal license plates.
Mhm.
This guy is a vile, fucking, disgusting communist, absolute piece of shit motherfucker, right? And I'm just that is insane. That is fucking insane.
And
But
he's getting
as
away with it.
far as the rest of his criminal history, I'll read it to you here. He's a violent career criminal with a laundry list of prior offenses and convictions stretching back more than a decade. These include, remember, because Gage Grosskreutz was a man who claimed to be a fucking saint, right? The saint, the patron saint of medicine and doing no harm, right? Okay, the patron saint of medicine and doing no harm who could not fathom causing harm to another individual, right? As he testified in court, yes, he has committed domestic abuse, 2 DUIs, felony burglary, and was also carrying a firearm while intoxicated.
Oh, that's just lovely.
Oh my god! Oh my fucking
Good thing
god.
his charge got dropped.
No, not good.
No, absolutely not.
Well, I'm dripping with sarcasm.
I know, but I'm
Absolutely
mad.
Okay, let's play
He
this.
sucks. He needs to die.
All right, this is kind of funny. All right, this is kind of funny.
What the fuck?
He's in a Zoom meeting, and his
Wait, what the
chair collapses.
What the
And
fuck
fucking
just
Rittenhouse
happened?
has to duck under the table because he's laughing like crazy. The defense attorney is like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?" Rittenhouse ducks down and keep laughing because Gage Grosskreutz is drunk or something and literally is struggling to get back into the chair.
Jesus.
Heck?
Wait, so what's happening here? Is it just...
It was a Zoom meeting that they were doing.
Was that like a year ago?
Yeah, it was I think they have to depose and everything.
God damn it. That's really funny.
But yeah, so Gage fucking literally falls out of his chair. They start laughing because it's hilarious. And then this motherfucker takes 30 seconds to get into the chair again.
See, this is the so-called champion key witness
For the defense.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I mean, and props to the
dude.
defense.
I mean, look, he got on there and argued as a medical expert that one of the people that Kyle Rittenhouse shot was in the process of delivering blunt force trauma to his head. That is absolutely a validation of self-defense. And then he goes, you saw that scene where
Didn't he say he was concerned for Kyle? The damage that his head would be receiving or something like that.
The thing is, we know this guy's dishonest, but the reason why he has to say that is because of his $10 million lawsuit.
Right.
He has to be very fucking careful when he's talking, but also he's also talked a lot of shit online because he thinks he's a big shot.
Oh, damn, that lawsuit.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, he killed his lawsuit. When you're in court, okay? When you're in court and you are giving testimony and you are stating that yes, you did not tell the court the truth about you having a fucking gun, that absolutely is going to kill your fucking case. Oh man.
Almrecker wouldn't last a day with that.
It's just the problem of the things you imagine and the mental gymnastics people pull off to justify things in their own minds versus the actual reality.
Let me see here. I'm trying to find. There's a couple different videos here.
I can totally pull it off.
Oh.
To have Gage Grosskreutz on CNN lying through his teeth.
It would be CNN.
Yeah. It wasn't just CNN though. Like Good Morning America had him on there too, right?
I think it was MSNBC that had one of the more offensive titles or headlines following the verdict. They're just plain embarrassing.
Well, you know, MSNBC, the way they behave is really fucking inappropriate, right? They edited footage from the trial to make it seem like Kyle had said something that he hadn't, right? They then went on to claim that Gage had his hands up when he was shot, which was contradictory to his fucking sworn testimony.
And the video.
And after they do that, they then clip to him saying something else entirely, right? So, like, these people are fucking disgusting. Yeah, then MSNBC, their producer, followed the fucking jury bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, just fucking scumbags through and through. Gage on ABC lying about the fucking gun. Again. So you're allowed to say whatever you feel like you need to say. So you're saying you weren't pointing your gun at him? Is that what you're saying? That's absolutely what I'm saying, yes. So, look, man, I'm not trying to be a dick to the person that's being his fucking anchor or anything. Or this guy over here. I don't know who he is, right? But you essentially just said that you gave sworn testimony, but now you can say whatever you want. You're not under oath. And then he goes, yeah, so I had my hands up and then he shot me. Like, dude, come on. But there's no pushback from this guy. There's no pushback from any of these fucking people. Ah, goddamn.
They're all sheep.
Yeah, here we go.
How's this the clip?
He never fired, right?
Correct.
It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him, with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Everybody remembers this. This is when people said it's over. It's fucking over. Like, Kyle knew it was over. Gage knew it was over. Right? Everybody knew it was over at this point. God damn. And then you had to sit through the rest of the trial. And then you had to sit through the rest of the fucking trial.
Well, no, the kind of scary and sad thing is
and then you cut to this motherfucker face palming.
Correct.
Dude, this trial had some hilarious fucking moments in it. 100% had some of the most fucking hilarious moments possible. But you also got to remember, like, a kid's life was hanging in the fucking ballot. Hanging in the balance.
Yeah, dude, I was tearing up a little bit watching him react and his family react. Like, and I feel bad for the parents of these weirdos too, because it wasn't the parents per se who, you know, they did anything. They experienced loss, but at the same time, like, he was innocent of what he was being charged for.
So let's look at Al Jazeera Plus, right? AJ Plus. Then I want to go to Al Jazeera. The jury found Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty of all homicide and other charges for killing 2 people and wounding one with an assault-style weapon. Right? Here's the thing. It's nothing's untrue in that headline. It's just not very favorable to Kyle. But at this point, I mean, that's probably the most you can fucking ask these assholes to do. But I just want to go down here, right? These are the charges Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty of. Intentional homicide, reckless homicide, attempted homicide, 2 times endangering safety. The judge dismissed a charge for possessing a weapon as a minor, which legal experts said was the most likely conviction. I just want to be very clear. I don't care what the experts said, because the experts also said that he was going to get convicted for homicide, right? Like, you could find experts to say anything. At the end of the day, when the judge dismissed the charges, I remember these outlets actually looked at the law and then argued that the law was stating things incorrectly, right? It was always pretty fucking clear. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, there was more to it than just like one block. There were exceptions, and he fell into them. The end.
Yeah, I mean, look at Murder's Legal, right? citing vagueness in the law. I mean, look, at the end of the day, one thing I heard was like, if there is a law, right, and in that law it is vague to the point where it can be confusing,
then maybe you have an argument.
Well, you side with the defendant on it, because if you have lawyers disagreeing on the law and the judge is disagreeing on the law, you literally cannot expect the 17-year-old fucking kid to know what the law is and interpret it properly. But again, it seems like it was, so I don't know. Here we go. People are outside the courthouse freaking out. This is the reaction from the prosecution after Kyle Rittenhouse was cleared of all charges. While we are disappointed with the verdict, it must be respected. So the jury representing our community has rendered its verdict in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. We're disappointed with the verdict. It must be respected. He is not going to appeal it. He is not going to fucking appeal it. And he can't appeal it. If he appeals the fucking ruling, you know that evidence they turned over to the defense is going to get brought up. That's great. Jesus, talk about coping. Yeah, the cope here is fucking real. But, you know, the prosecution, I don't think, can go after Kyle again without going into why they turned over corrupted evidence, manipulated evidence to the defense.
I thought that it was dismissed, or that they can't revisit it.
Yeah.
That it was over with prejudice. Is that incorrect? Is that the last thing the judge said?
Well, look, you know, when the kid's cleared and everything, that, you know, double jeopardy's attached. Kyle's safe. He's solid and everything. But as far as like what the prosecution's done in the case, I don't think that there's really anything that can be done here. The judge can like refer it to the bar, right? And like report his actions to the bar. And then, you know, Fluffer Boy could face some sort of penalty for doing this shit. But it's on the judge to actually go through the efforts of that. I don't think anybody else can. So
Maybe Kyle. But
I mean,
again, like, I don't think that kid wants to even see a courthouse.
Yeah, I think he's done after this.
I don't think Kyle can, right?
I don't know. His were the rights that were, you know, ignored.
Yeah, okay,
so I don't know. I don't know where the complaint would arise from, but seems like he might be the person.
Okay, so this is the reaction when they read the verdict from outside the courthouse. So just play this.
The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send their killer time to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, the whole.
There you go.
What the fuck?
Do you know what I find kind of weird and hypocritical about these ideas is these people probably
Is that they have
often
children
vote
chanting because they're upset at the death of a pedophile? Yes, I find it very ironic, VP.
Well, it's just the people who are sitting here saying the system is corrupt are the same kinds of people who keep on voting for more system.
Yep.
It's weird to me.
And they're the ones who help make it more corrupt too with the fucking riots and shit.
It is corrupt. They are correct. It is corrupt. Everything the prosecution that they did was incredibly fucking corrupt. And they did it to appease a band of retards that are sitting on the fucking courthouse steps right now. That's the whole reason why we had to deal with all this shit, right? Because a corrupt fucking prosecutor went after a kid Oh, hold on.
Well, because he wanted to further his political career. He may be looking to be like a judge and, you know. Probably thought that this was going to give him a show to put on, get some more.
Yeah, literally.
Get some more attention on the national plane.
Yeah.
Wait, don't take my water.
God.
Yeah, but I had
How many of you think that there's gonna be like fucking riots tonight?
I think it's too cold. I think most of the rioting happens when, you know, like seriously, like these are lazy people who just want to go out and have some fun and burn a city
Yeah,
down that
that's
doesn't
true.
impact
That's
them.
fair.
I mean, you'll have like the super Karens and stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Almost got in trouble.
What happened?
I was using the bad R word.
Well, wait, what?
My wife doesn't like it.
Oh.
I was going to do a lot of trouble there. All right, so look, where was I with this shit? Guys, she totally took me off my fucking game. Look, you know, they're going after this fucking kid, right? They're going after this kid to appease this mob of fucking idiots who are screaming that the whole system's corrupt, right? These people, every rule was fucking broken to appease them. It was corrupt in their fucking favor. They still lost. That's how fucking wrong they were. And they're out there going on about how everything's corrupt and Killer Kyle needs to go to prison. Shut up. Like, I look, I mean, I get that if you really feel like the jury is wrong there, fine. But why the fuck are you idiots going to fucking bat to defend a pedophile and 2 wife beaters? I don't get it. These are just bad people. These are legitimately bad people. You can tell me that you disagree with the verdict and you think Kyle should be in prison without acting so fucking manic in support of a pedophile. It's really fucking weird. It's creepy. It's gross. And I think these individuals really need to be called out on it. When they're out of the fucking, like, when they're out there on the court steps in 30-degree weather, everyone should be out there going like, why do you love this pedophile so much? What about him raping 5 young boys gets your hearts pumping so much to stand out here in defense of the pedophile's honor? I mean...
No, dude, the sun goes down. These people are going to go home. It's too cold. They're too lazy. Like, they don't actually care.
I believe you. I believe you.
Look,
there might be a little bit of civil unrest, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look. I don't get the righteous fucking indignation and these calls that Rosenbaum is like a hero and that fucking it's a tragedy that he died. He's a fucking dirty ass pedophile. Why are you fucking doing it, people?
Oh no, fucking AIDS. I was gonna say something that I probably shouldn't, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Well,
but
sorry, I thought you were done. Please continue.
No, I am. No, I was gonna say something that would probably get this stream in trouble.
Well, I was just gonna say it's morally, like, it's in a person's mind. I could see how they perceive it as a win-win, right? Because you sitting here looking at the state, like, even as they rigged it, you know, they still couldn't win. This is proof of white, you know, more if they win,
power.
like, oh, look, he was this.
I mean,
you know, so it's a win-win, whether or not you win or lose the case.
I mean, it's a win-win for the prosecutor. I don't think it's a win-win for anybody else. I mean, like, look, obviously for the activists, it's
well, they
a
still
win-win
get to walk away feeling the way they do, which is what
Yeah.
they wanted. So
that's true. I mean, like this. What's going on here in this case has been. It's been gross. It's been gross. It's been disgusting. It really should not be fucking happening. But
shouldn't have been brought.
Well, look. At the end of the day, it's political prosecution. Within 2 days of the shootings occurring, they had already pressed charges against Kyle without finishing their investigation. Right? And a lot of people from the fucking get-go were saying that it looks like self-defense because we literally see this guy on film threatening the kid and chasing him, right? Like, it looked like self-defense. Obviously, there's more details that came out later, but when 2 days you're already pressing charges and you haven't finished your investigation, you haven't finished speaking to witnesses, you haven't gotten the phone from one of your witnesses to verify what he's saying when his testimony doesn't match up with the videos. Like, the prosecution here, I mean, look, they had pressure on them to press charges. But at the end of the day, because you have pressure doesn't mean you cave into said pressure. There's always going to be a mob of idiots. Stop listening to the mob of idiots. When they're seriously sitting there on the fucking doorstep and they're criticizing everybody in Kenosha, I'd literally just sit there and go like, these fucking pedophile apologists are upset that their beloved pedophile who raped 5 little boys got raped, and they're really mad because they wanted their small children to spend time with a pedophile. Like, I would literally just be screaming it at these people. I would take a fucking megaphone and just be shouting it. Joseph Rosenbaum raped 5 little boys, and everybody up here is upset that he died. Like, I would just be shouting it. And when they go like, yes, of course we're upset. Yes, because you love pedophiles. I would be fucking vicious, right? Because why show these people an ounce of fucking respect? Literally, I'm being very fucking I'm being very fucking clear here. I see no reason to treat these people with any sort of civil understanding and act as if we're like on the same page, because we're clearly not. These assholes need to be shamed, okay? This is one of those things I said. It's kind of the nice thing about having bullies, right? It's not the bullying itself, it's the shame, right? Sometimes you need a little shame in your fucking life so you don't do stupid shit like, I don't know, standing around in 30-degree weather screaming because you're upset that a pedophile died. I don't know. I just, holy shit. These people here, nothing up there. Nothing clicks. Absolutely nothing. I think that Kyle acted in self-defense. I don't think he's a hero. I think he acted in self-defense. I think he was in a bad situation. I think he tried to flee from that situation. And when it became clear he couldn't, he defended himself. Period. That's it. That's all. He didn't have a right to retreat either. He has a right to stand his ground in Wisconsin. He chose to retreat. Just showing that he was really trying not to hurt people.
Yeah, I mean, once they got the Rosenbaum charge dismissed, then the whole thing it was going to cave in on itself, because really,
well,
the linchpin was the provocation, supposedly. And then, like, once you have a mob set on a person, you know, their state of mind is going to be like, oh crap, like there's a mob coming after me right now. And so the rest of it,
situation he put himself in, though, to be fair,
I mean, everybody there was part of that.
I agree, but that's why I said he doesn't have a right to flee that bad situation. Kyle has every right to show up to an area where there is a riot, even though it is stupid, with a gun, and stand around on property that he wants to protect. He literally has the right to do that, okay? He does. You can call it stupid. You can call it moronic. You can say ulterior motives, whatever. It doesn't matter. Legally, he has every right to do it. Now, as far as him putting himself into a bad situation, which I think he did, right? He still chose to try to flee that situation, not stay in that situation and start shooting people. So,
and that's what I'm pretty sure, you know, watching him run away across the length of an entire parking lot as Rosenbaum charged after him, like that had to be pretty telling, I think, for the jury. Like, it's just hard to shake. Like, what he did with his gun with that 1 pixel and the one video, which you hear the judge sitting there saying, like, you've built this on a shaky stack of cards and I'm queasy about this. Like, you're hearing the judge say this, but also you're thinking it anyways because you watched this be introduced at the last second and whatnot. Like, you have to be sitting there thinking like, this, like, even though I'm kind of Karen, you know, like this, I can't do this. And I think that's why the jury did what they did, is because the facts were so strong that it didn't really matter what also the testimony of the facts by both of the defendant's witnesses, but also the prosecution's witnesses, were what made it ultimately so that the prosecution, despite their corrupt crap, still couldn't prosecute this boy.
Okay. Hold on. So I think this was the video. I wanted to show it because I don't know if you mentioned it, BP, but this is the video of them attacking that old man.
I haven't seen the video. I just read about it.
Okay, so flashback August 2020 in Kenosha. An elderly man with a fire extinguisher tries to ward off the BLM rioters and looters. They then beat him unconscious, and he begins bleeding from the head. Now, the reason why I wanted to point that out is, again, if you ever talk to anybody who sits there and says, well, Kyle had a gun, I don't fucking care that Kyle had a bigger, scarier weapon than these other people, because they've literally beat somebody into the ground and given them a brain injury, right? I know this might be hard to understand, but if I have the choice between shooting you or brain injury, I will absolutely aim at you, but I will specifically aim at your fucking nuts. God damn. These people love superheroes saving burning cities, but not Kyle putting out.
No, they love people burning their political opponents.
You know what I imagine? Their favorite movie is probably Age of Ultron because the Avengers get to destroy the city. They're probably like, yeah!
The city deserved it, man.
The filthy capitalists.
Burn everything in the middle of the country.
All right, let's play this. It might be graphic, guys. If it is too graphic, I'm going to stop it.
This poor man got his business caught on fire. I'm sorry, sir. I'm very sorry about that, man.
Yeah, really.
I have nothing to do with that. I'm trying to stop this shit here.
So that's old guy. They literally set his business on fire, right?
Fucking AIDS.
And I'm gonna imagine he was probably in the building because he came out of the building with a fire extinguisher, right? And let's see how this one plays out.
Bro, it's mostly peaceful.
Dude, I'm gonna help this guy. I don't give a fuck if I get beat up.
Oh, because if you help the old man who's trying to stop the people from setting his business on fire, they'll beat you up? You mean to tell me
That's
that they'll
provoking
beat
a
people
crowd,
up who don't have guns? Who don't have big, scary guns? They'll beat up old men and women holding cameras? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is insane. Guys, watch what happens when you don't have a big, scary AR-15. Watch how the crowd reacts when you can't shoot them in the face.
She just ran up and threw it.
They just threw a bottle at this guy.
Okay, so he's got a fire extinguisher, right? Which, again, fire extinguisher could be used as a blunt instrument and cause head trauma, but as you can see, he is not swinging the fire extinguisher at anybody. He is literally spraying the hose at them as they throw a bottle at his face. So, again, a gun would probably be really helpful when someone's throwing a bottle at your fucking face. But let's see if he can fight them off with a fire extinguisher. Oh look, they're in his building stealing shit out of it, right? So he's spraying with the fire extinguisher to get him out of the building. So this kind gentleman, right, knowing the fire extinguisher is a deadly weapon, right? When used improperly, decides to save the heroes who are liberating goods from this evil white establishment.
Yeah.
So again, when you've been punched in the face after someone's thrown a bottle at your face, a gun would come in really handy, especially a big, scary AR-15 gun.
I mean, this was approaching bodily harm. Then your head hits the concrete.
Yeah.
Well, some guy came behind him and pulverized his head, and then he fell to the ground.
Yeah. Right. See, here's the thing, right? I know this is crazy. I know people don't understand it, right? But let's say you get punched in the face, right? It's not even that big of a hit, but you get punched in the face and it really it knocks the wind out of you, right? So you fall back. Well, see, what can happen when you're falling back onto concrete is your head can slap the fucking concrete, right? Causing traumatic brain injury, right?
You could die from that. I mean, just that. People.
This was bare hands. This was bare hands. This was not someone with a big, scary AR-15 gun, right? Punching somebody and giving them a traumatic brain injury. But remember, it's totally okay because nobody did anything with a big, scary gun.
Sir. Are you okay?
Oh my god.
I don't know if you can hear in the background, but somebody's shouting "suck" on that, and you can still see people leaving his building. So, right, these are the heroes, by the way, right? Mind you, if you were a person who lived or had family in this community and you saw this happening and the police aren't doing anything, right? You are evil for wanting that to stop. They want to beat you up. They want to steal your things. They want to set your property on fire. And then they want you to say, thank you. And if you say anything else, you are a white supremacist, Nazism, misogynistophobe. Okay? We need to stop treating these people as if they have any legitimate grievances. They have none. They are children. They are violent children. They are overgrown, violent children in adult bodies. We need to put a stop to them. That's
every single one of them.
Like I was saying earlier, like
no
they
exceptions.
They just vilify you.
Molly, to just correct your statement, they didn't burn his business down and then attack him for trying to save it. They burned his business down and then went and stole all of the belongings inside of it and then beat him up when he tried to stop them from stealing the little bits that he had left. That's these people are fucking
Doesn't
monsters.
get much better.
Yeah, these people are fucking monsters. Like, I'm not kidding. These people are fucking monsters. And then they want to sit there and argue that Kyle and anybody else who showed up to put a stop to this shit, they're the problem. Because the police, who are completely ignoring all of it and letting it happen, they're on the scene watching it. So it's all good. I swear to God, these people are brain damaged motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to fucking God. And then I do like the Rittenhouse precedent, though. I really do, right? Because the moment that guy punched the old man, right? Had one of those militia dude bros been standing there, he could have straight up just opened fire on that motherfucker. Because he literally beat an elderly man to the ground.
He's only hit one time. Sometimes, like, that's all it takes for a concussion.
Yeah.
You know, and then...
Well, he looked out of it when he was hitting the ground.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if someone knocks you out, you know, you're not going to be able to shoot them afterwards. You know, it's crazy.
But see, like, this was the stuff that was actually happening in Kenosha, and they pretend like none of it occurred, right? That all that was going on was it was just protest, and the reason why I got rowdy was because, you know, the violent white supremacists showed up. These people are...
Do you know what did show up, which supposedly provoked this in both instances? A dude trying to put out a fire to a business.
Okay, so here, and this was
fire extinguisher offensive.
Here we go. So this is the dumb, belligerent fuckwad Jerry Nadler. Heartbreaking verdict is a miscarriage of justice and sets a dangerous. I hope he gets hit by a bus. Like I'm not kidding. I really hope he gets hit by a bus. Justice cannot tolerate armed persons crossing state lines. And there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so disingenuous.
People engage in First Amendment protected protest. Holy shit! Right? I remember when that fucking Cuomo, but the younger brother of that dirty fucking pervert who killed all those old people. Right? I remember when he was like, "Show me where in the First Amendment it says you have to be peaceful." And it's like, literally there where it's like your right to peaceably assemble, meaning you have to be peaceful. So it's not First Amendment protected protest when they're destroying the community, you fat fucker. Like this Nadler guy, he was that. I can't remember if it was something to do with Kavanaugh or if it was something to do with impeachment, but Nadler literally fell asleep during the hearing, and it was hilarious. So.
Yeah, this idea that if you think that you are morally justified, you can then go and commit a bunch of felonies, it just doesn't make any sense to a logical human being who's reading the law at all. And what's disturbing is the fact that these are the people in our law systems telling us this stuff. Like, you look at people like Binger, who's saying, you had no right to be here, and you were doing all this stuff, when everything he was doing was within the law, and the people that, were acting out were actually not in favor of the law. They were breaking the law. They were committing felonies.
I had to take my screen off so I could tweet mean things at the congressperson.
Good.
happy
Good. I want to see you go off.
Oh man. Hold on.
It's just like, not, you want to see the law applied evenly. You want to see consistency, right? I think a lot of people, they want to see consistency. They think they're being cheated of it. But when you can actually sit here and look at the evidence on literal video, and they played it in slow motion for some reason over and over, which just made it even more clear that he was innocent. And then you see these titles, you see these tweets, like, anybody who actually paid attention is like, wow, noted. I see you, you idiot. This is what you're about. Got it.
So this is an individual who calls himself respectable lawyer at respectable law. Now, based on the profile here, he's literally just a fucking communist, right? Like, he's literally just a communist, right? And again, anytime I find a communist talking about the Rittenhouse trial and acting as if it is somehow immoral to want to defend property when their ideology literally says they will have a violent revolution in order to steal property from people, right? I find it fucking hilarious. I literally do, because it spits in the face of being a communist entirely. It really does. And they don't get it at all, because they don't even know what it means to be a communist. Well, at the same time, saying that they are communist, I will take your means and redistribute them. I'm sure he'll say he's a socialist or something, but let's be honest.
Bullshit.
Nah, socialist is just a communist on, like, light communist.
On tutorial mode.
But he's got an interesting take, because I think it's fucking hilarious. The big lesson here is that you should not, under any circumstances, attempt to disarm one of these right-wing death squad dorks when they start shooting. Instead, you should shoot them. Now,
Holy
look.
Fuck.
Look.
What the?
If there is an active shooter, right, you should not attempt to stop them. Like, you should literally hide. If you have the ability to, sure. But if somebody is not an active shooter, right, and you choose to, like, go fight them, then they have a right to defend themselves. If you're standing in a corner watching it happen and you decide, well, I'm just going to fire my gun, holy shit. Like I cannot explain the levels of just depraved stupidity that is going on with this gentleman. Like, I just, again,
also, who was the first person to fire a firearm in this situation? It wasn't Kyle.
Yeah, it was Zeminski.
So, by their logic,
gun-toting patriots already reporting me for saying you should shoot an active shooter. Okay. Like,
but you
if
have to
we're
wait and ask what their politics are. He said right wing or whatever.
Well, the thing is, like, if he's referring to Rittenhouse, which I think he is, right? Rittenhouse was not an active shooter when they attacked him. Okay, so What you're actually saying is, if you see somebody and you think that they've shot somebody, get your gun and shoot them. That's illegal. That's 100% a crime. In fact, even if you think the person might be an active shooter, it's still a crime to take your gun out and start firing at them, because there is an argument against the whole good guy with a gun, which is what the prosecution tried to argue here, and that is you don't know if the person you are stopping is actually a bad guy with a gun. You could be running into a situation blind and cause more problems, right? But let's keep going. You should absolutely report this person, because what they are telling people to do is highly fucking illegal. It's highly fucking illegal. It's actually hilarious. For anyone who thinks my tweet was inappropriate, consider that Gage Grosskreutz saw a shooter sitting in the road killing people. Oh, that's
What?
Gage Grosskreutz actually said that when he started following Kyle, he had no reason to believe that Kyle was a shooter. And then when Gage saw people attacking Kyle, he was concerned for Kyle's safety because one of them was delivering blunt trauma to his head, which is incredibly bad. Okay,
so that's just a lie.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It is a lie, because Gage didn't even say that about Kyle. He said he saw someone being attacked in the middle of the road, and then he saw Kyle shoot these people after they were attacking him. And Gage said he ran up to him to surrender to Kyle. I don't know why, but then Kyle, Gage is a fucking idiot.
Hey, maybe this guy has lost more than a bicep. I mean, maybe something else has been vaporized. Anyways, please continue.
Yeah, okay, so this is the horrific reality of legally permissible mutual homicide, and the sentence immediately following the highlight is my point. Okay, let's read this. If Rittenhouse had a right to shoot Huber and Grosskreutz in self-defense, the latter had a similar legitimate basis for shooting Rittenhouse dead. No, because Gage said he had no reason to believe Kyle had shot anybody when he saw Kyle getting attacked. So no.
Also, that doesn't matter because they're not being tried. This isn't about trying them. It's about ascertaining a very specific set of information about Kyle. Were his actions reasonable?
Look, here's the thing, right?
Or was it beyond reason that he should be fearful?
It's a case of self-defense, right?
Yes.
If you are standing in an area, right, and you are walking down the street, all of a sudden you walk into a situation where one person literally has somebody at gunpoint, okay? And so you, being the hero that you are, you tackle that person with the gun, right? And then later you find out, actually, that person was the victim. She pulled her gun out to stop the violent rapist from raping her, and now the rapist has run away. So, look, just because you believe that you are a fucking hero does not mean you are an actual fucking hero.
Also, your state of mind doesn't matter. The law doesn't care about it. By
It
definition.
doesn't.
Just Kyle's. You're not being tried.
My point is just to stop this argument where they're trying to say these people are being heroes and shit. Now we go into the argument of actual self-defense, right? Well, if Kyle is running towards police or is running away at all, and Huber comes with a skateboard and says, I'm going to beat his head open with it, nobody has the right to self-defense when they see Kyle shoot the person trying to bash his skull in, right? This guy is just a fucking idiot. I swear. Man.
No, the amount of times that Kyle actually showed great restraint were many. He was bashed in the face with a boot by Jump Kick Man. He was bashed in the back of the head with a skateboard, from what I could tell. He blocked a skateboard on another occasion, and he had many opportunities to pull his trigger. He kept on running. He thought he was going to get overwhelmed. He thought he was, but when he did, he didn't over unload. He didn't blow away a bunch of people who had nothing to do with it that were in the background. And this is a 17-year-old kid.
Look, I'm not someone who's going to argue, Kyle's a hero. right? Look, I think Kyle is a kid. I think that Kyle deserves to live his fucking life. I don't think he did anything wrong here. But I'm not gonna like sit there and go like Kyle's a hero or anything. But also,
I'm not
like,
trying to say that, but
I
am trying to say, like, you know, given the circumstances, like,
he acted
so
as
you
responsibly as he could in those circumstances.
all of these people have put themselves in a situation that's highly volatile. Everybody involved. Okay, so with that said, acknowledging that he was one of those people, he has every bit as much right to live as anybody else. You know, and what his state of mind would be if I were in his shoes after having made the first, you know, you could sit here and look at his decision to be there. But if I were in his shoes, absolutely, you know, I would probably, who knows what, who the heck knows, dude? Like, that's the problem, is none of these people are actually putting themselves in the defendant's shoes when they're sitting here thinking about this. Probably haven't even seen the video, haven't heard the testimony, haven't heard anything.
You know, I've got some photos from Kenosha, so you can kind of see what they actually did in that city, just to see like some of the destruction, right? Because insurance is not like they flat out said the insurance won't even cover removing the rubble from these people's like destroyed property.
The unallowed, allegedly New York Times article.
I've got Andy Knows showing people calling for fucking violence, and a statement from GoFundMe on why they would allow statement from the national. Oh my gosh, holy shit! The NBA has put out a statement. That's what I needed. Thank you. I'm just going to pull up a few things because I think it's pretty interesting in here. Sorry if I'm taking a second to get all put together for you guys. Okay, here we go. So I got some stuff from Andy. Now I think it's interesting to look at. Let me show you this first. These are photos from Kenosha. So you see the destruction that they actually did to the city. So I mean, this is like an entire building was fucking destroyed and burned.
Holy fuck! Wait, what's this?
Kenosha.
This is one.
Oh my god.
It
literally looks like a fucking bomb, just like
it does
the entire city.
It does.
Holy shit.
This was somebody's business.
That's.
I believe this is probably the owner of that business. She looks rich and wealthy, so good for you.
Yay!
These people think life insurance gives you a 1-up. Yeah, I would say that's true. Like, again, insurance isn't going to pay for any of that. I mean, like, it can't even pay for the money it takes to remove the fucking rubble. Okay, so here we go. This is so Ricada got a statement from the NBA here that he was quote tweeting. The grand irony is, of course, that the Kenosha riots were literally vigilantism against the unlawful shooting of Jacob Blake. Our thoughts are with the families of those whose lives were taken in this tragedy. The right to peacefully protest is a again, they're literally destroying the fucking city. I like
this is
it.
The
like it.
NBA.
This is the National Basketball Social Justice Coalition,
Cringe.
Right? Which is part of the National Basketball Association.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I haven't really been following sports ever since this stuff. Like,
I mean, I think Ricada's right when he goes like, well, the riots are literally vigilantism, right? They're calling for social change and they're committing crimes to get what they want. That's you can literally argue they're being vigilantes.
But then again, people, yeah, exactly. But they think that they can just not say that, and there's enough people that will follow suit because they're on the air quote right side of history. Like their vigilantism or whatever is justified, but other people's isn't. Because And they think that the rules shouldn't equally apply.
Well, I'm gonna bust through these last 3 tweets here, and then we'll wrap up for the night. A far left group is fundraising money on Venmo support to distribute funds to people who are mobilizing to Kenosha. Like last year, crowdfunding on Venmo support and cash support was used to pay to help people who went to BLM Antifa riots. This is actually true, right? So I've got GoFundMe as well. Let me pull this one up for you guys. So one thing that's been pointed out is these sites will like claim things like, oh, we don't allow for this or that, yada, yada, yada. But you keep finding these big Antifa accounts going out and raising massive amounts of money and funneling it through Venmo and Cash App and shit, right? Meanwhile, when the Proud Boys get caught using any of these apps, they immediately get them shut down, right? So there is a problem there. Now, GoFundMe is probably the most interesting one, right? Because when we talk about things that are guaranteed to you in this nation, you're allowed to defend yourself, right? You're not just self-defense, but in a court of law, you are allowed the right to defend yourself, right? To have an attorney and everything, right? So when Kyle Rittenhouse was raising money on GoFundMe for his legal defense, right? GoFundMe shut it down immediately and said it was glorifying violence, right? No verdict, no nothing. They determined this kid had committed serious fucking murders and all this other shit, right? And prevented people from fundraising money for his legal defense, right? That's disgusting on every fucking level. Even if the guy did horrible things, he still has the right to defend himself in court. Like these people tried to go after this kid in every fucking way that they could. They even tried to stop him from affording a reasonable fucking defense when it is a major national fucking trial. Yeah. So, GoFundMe's terms. Who can reply? I hope you eat several dicks. GoFundMe terms of service prohibits raising money for the legal defense of an alleged violent crime. In light of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, we want to clarify when and why we have removed certain fundraisers in the past. Now, again, GoFundMe literally donated $500 to Riot Kitchen. Riot Kitchen is a far-left Antifa adjacent fucking group that goes out there and says they go out there to feed people, right? But then shows up and supplies weapons to the rioters, supplies them with shields, supplies them with shit that they can throw at people, right? Riot Kitchen's been busted doing that several fucking times and was arrested at riots doing that, right? GoFundMe left their fucking thing up and donated $500 to them. But also, if you donated a cent to Kyle Rittenhouse, absolutely fucking not. We must shut that down immediately. And finally, right, just to tell you, like, because the left argues, like, you saw what the fucking Chunky Yogurt's bullshit fucking rant was, right? This motherfucker, you have the ADA violating the kid's constitutional rights, right? You have the media outright lying about the kid and making up things that are not true. You have key witnesses for the prosecution going out and lying about their testimony after the fact, right? You have the federal government now deciding they also want to put the screws into this kid who just got acquitted, right? And you also have people on the left calling for acts of violence in response to all of this. And Chunky Yogurt's response is, the violent right-wing people are bloodthirsty and they just want to shoot all of us. These, it's insane. These people are fucking insane.
I mean, anyone who's not unhinged, this has to kind of at least make them wince an eye, you know?
Big Country Benjamin, do not post about crimes on the internet. Just repeat it over and over again because Benjamin is going to commit crimes and he doesn't want people telling about it on the internet. It's time to burn it down to Kenosha. Fuck Kyle. That hashtag doesn't really work with the 2Ks, does it?
Jesus.
It's okay. We will riot tonight.
Oh my God.
Reminder, folks, it only takes between 6 and 10 people to flip a police car. Well, there you go. There you go. mind you, right? It's the vile right wingers who are criminals, and God damn it, Brew, get down.
Especially if you're not lifting. I mean,
okay, I'm gonna go stop my cat before she tries to take that thing down again. Everybody, thank you for tuning in for another stream. BP, dude, thank you so much for tuning in, man.
Yeah, thanks for letting me pop in.
No joke. When I saw you in here, I was looking in here because we just had that one fucking idiot, and I was like, "Is this his friend?" Because he came in, his name was like Blue Moon 96, and you were in there as like BP, and I was like, "Is this his buddy or something?"
No, man, I'm glad to be here, and thanks for letting me be on. I've had an interest in this, and you want to believe that you can defend yourself. You want to believe that you have the right to show up. And so I think that while a lot of people are sitting here on one political side of the aisle thinking, oh no, now there's going to be all these crazy AR-15s running around at all these things. Other people are thinking like, thank God I can defend my family if it comes to that.
I mean,
maybe even my property if I get in between a person and my burning building, I
looked at that Nadler tweet, right? The one where he says he's going to refer to the DOJ, and that motherfucker's being ratioed, right?
Yeah. Nothing's going to happen.
No, there's not the willpower, even amongst the people that hate Kyle, to try and make a federal case against him because they got crushed so fucking badly. Again, it's much better for them to just whine and bitch that everything's unfair because they do it anyways, and they can just point to that as being an example than to try and redo it a second time.
Yeah, even Brandon has signaled both things, if that gives you any... Biden's like, yeah, I'm with the jury, but also I'm going to try and appease these people. They're just going to let it die down until the next thing. I think that's
probably the smartest thing to do. But again, we're talking about people who have acted incredibly idiotic for a very long time.
The more people actually watch the videos, the more it's going to become they look crazy because they are. So... But then again, thanks for letting me come on. It's been nice being on here. It's been a minute, but
anytime, buddy.
Nice meeting you, Red Ski. And
yeah, nice to meet you too.
Sorry, I haven't been watching the chat. I've been on my phone, so I don't know what's going on in there. I'm sure you guys are great too.
I've been paying attention. Sometimes they say some really funny shit, so I gotta put it up. But I'm sure they loved having you on here, buddy. It's been way too fucking long. Guys, thank you for tuning in. If you guys have been paying attention to the trial, I will admit, when they were about to read the verdict, I was like, there are times when I've been really sure about something and it has not panned out, and I was like, I'm ready for it to go down either way. But it was good news. BP is a hot mofo. You're not kidding. BP is the most attractive man I have met. I'm going to end the stream right there.